Yeah, what are you doing with that girlfriend?
Yeah, come on,
she
Lex.
keeps being mean to you, nagging you all the time. You don't need her.
Coming off like a bitch, Lex. You don't want to do that. She's not going to respect you. You're going to have to break up with her just so she respects you.
Why don't you murder her, Lex?
Yeah, Lex. There's a way to get away with it. I'm just... Look, we know. This is fact. We know some people are just really fucking dumb. They really can't see the future. I want to know if that guy was on anything, too. I want to know if he was on any kind of psych meds. You know?
Can you tell me the story again?
Oh, some guy killed his wife, man. And they found his Google search. It's horrific. It's like how to dismember a body. How long does it take for a body to dissolve? It's like, ugh. Is it best to cut someone up or move them whole? Like what? He just Googled the most horrific, and he did it for like the entire night into the morning.
Is there results for that in a Google search?
What happens if you put body parts in ammonia? How to clean blood from a wooden floor, dismemberment and the best ways to dispose of a body. Can identification be made on partial remains? How long does DNA last? Like, what the fuck, man? How long before a body starts to smell? Can he be charged with murder without a body?
Get off on...
I don't think he's getting off at all. I don't think he has a chance of getting off.
Well, the breaking defendant Trump news of the night is that Donald Trump has to give up his guns.
Is it just me, or is it weird that Donald Trump, a former president who is currently running for president, has to give up his guns while the son of the current president is currently on trial for illegal possession of a firearm? I tell you, we are living in some very wonky times.
Donald Trump, who has had bodyguards for many, many years before he had Secret Service protection, never had any rational reason to carry or even possess a firearm.
What a goofy statement to make. What does Donald Trump having bodyguards have anything to do with the price of tea in China? If I had bodyguards, I would still carry a gun. Ronald Reagan was surrounded by Secret Service when he got shot. Need I remind you of what happened to Abraham Lincoln? Wasn't that guy whose assassination started World War I surrounded by bodyguards when he was killed? Man, what are you talking about? It makes all the sense in the world for Donald Trump to have a gun. But even if he didn't, please point out to me where in the Bill of Rights does it say you have to have a reason to own a firearm? I assure you it doesn't. But pay attention to how he says Donald Trump doesn't need a gun because he has bodyguards while simultaneously pushing gun control that would make it harder for people who don't have bodyguards to get a gun for protection in the first place. So they clearly are aware that people do indeed need guns for protection if they don't have a bodyguard, but they just don't care.
Like many people who hope that a handgun might make them feel, I don't know, more like a man.
What? Who wrote this, a third grader? You do realize that women accounted for half of all gun purchases between 2019 and 2021. So what are you saying? All of those women who went and bought guns were buying them so that they can feel more manly? This is such a phenomenally stupid take. People don't purchase guns to feel manly, they purchase them for protection. It's really that simple. Talk about protection. Better yet, let's talk about how the largest and most comprehensive survey on American gun owners found that 1.7 million people use their guns in self-defense each year. How's that for feeling manly?
Donald Trump owns 3 handguns, and he obtained a license to carry a concealed handgun, a license that the New York
MSNBC is fucking unwatchable, dude.
This is a new high-tech Chinese EV, bringing the heat. These poor souls are slaving away, shipping all that throwaway free 99 Temu junk to your door. And these Chinese families are trying to enjoy a quiet picnic day out.
What the fuck is that? How is there such a massive crowd?
There is a hidden misery in China, one that you're not supposed to see, and one that you simply cannot see unless you live for a particular amount of time in China. There's a very strange phenomenon which no one talks about. Expats that learn and become fluent in Chinese usually leave China. But expats that remain ignorant and never learn Chinese tend to stay long term. There are, of course, exceptions to this, but in general, this is always the case. And I'll tell you why. But first, unlike this random, self-immolating Chinese EV, today's sponsor makes quality goods. Father's Day is around the corner, and it works exactly like. Go to partner.extra.com. And now, this is a difficult thing for me to say. But learning Chinese was a bit of a curse and a mistake, if I'm honest with you right now. It prevented me from developing intricate fantasies about the world around me as I traveled through China for the 14 years I lived there, and forced a harsh reality upon me. The positive part of learning Chinese is that I was able to form genuine connections with people there, many of whom outside the big cities had never met or spoken to a foreigner. The negative was that all my fantasies and illusions about China being a happy place were completely shattered. The majority of China is not happy. They just survive. Let me show you something. This is the line on Tianzi Road outside the US Embassy in Beijing on June 3rd. Pretty long. These people are all coming for visa interviews, standing for hours to get their chance at freedom. This is a daily sight. Here we see another line the next day on the 4th of June.
Holy shit.
And how about the next day? Here's the 5th of June. These constant cues of Chinese people.
You're not going to believe this, but I am madly in love with Joey. TTT. 777. 7,777,777,777,777.
Oh, I could believe it. Joey is a sweet, handsome, sentient boy. But thanks for the donation, Lee, then now. Appreciate it. I have lentils and peas, and Prisma wants to eat them. He likes lentils and peas, don't you, Prim Prim? Mm-hmm. It's my sweet kitty. I love you.
Trying to flee China are not only present in Beijing, but every US consulate around China, every single day of the year.
No.
美国驻华使馆门前长长的队伍。今天是5月29号，24年的5月29日上午，美国。
Yeah, dude, that's hilarious. Literally everybody wants to get out of China. No one wants to fucking stay. And then you have these idiot fucking pro-China bots on Twitter saying, oh, look how amazing China is. They're so much more cultured and developed than us. They all want to leave because it sucks.
使馆门前长长的面前队伍。
You've no doubt heard about the tens of thousands of Chinese citizens illegally entering the USA every few months, through the southern border as well. Why is it that so many Chinese people are trying so hard to leave China? Well, the reality is that living in China is tough and quite miserable for most people. This is in stark contrast to the distorted facade that China projects to the outside world. Flashy skylines at night and high-speed rails. This flashy image is something that does little to change the fact that life is a constant struggle for most. And although most people will agree that the struggle is worth it if there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that tunnel is now collapsing. So back to learning Chinese being a curse. A scene which I would rationalize in my mind to have deep meaning often turned out to be some hollow nonsense in reality once I could hear what people were saying and actually discussing. Signs that used to blend into the background suddenly shouted disturbing, condescending things at me, barking orders on how I must live my life, the things I have to think, and what opinions I'm not allowed to have. What would have seemed to be an unrelated friendly conversation amongst friends as I passed by turned into base gossip, as I could now understand people commenting about my appearance or saying stereotypical or derogatory things about foreigners. Once the mystery is gone, the facade lifted, China, unfortunately, was no longer appealing. Once you start to really get to know people and understand what's going on around you, you find that life in China is rather base. The pursuit of money being the most important focus, survival and money. It's not that people aren't genuine or nice, but conversation is stifled and limited, as anything other than basic day-to-day mundane topics are allowed to be discussed. You can't get into a spiritual or political conversation with people, and even close friends are very guarded as they
Yo, donate $2. Let me see. Okay.
In a recent interview with Fox News, he promised to start by exposing all the things the deep state doesn't want you to know. Well, almost all the things.
Some people think that one way to build trust is to declassify things. If you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these, would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would. I think that less so.
Dude, that is suspicious.
Bro, you gotta check out this tomorrow's teachings episode. I can definitely understand why you found some of the other skits boring, but this one is actually really funny. $10 to watch, pretty please.
Let me take a look.
Coming up.
This is probably going to be absolute dog shit. If it's dog shit, I'm not watching it. Thanks for the donation though, nigga. Dude, that is actually bizarre that he responded in that kind of way. It's like he's actually trying to hide something.
Epstein, answer. Obama was born.
Yeah, that is super weird.
Up on tomorrow's teachings.
You can tell me.
You see any f***ing Kool-Aid around here? Karen the Mexican hunter. Get him! Good boy.
What's up?
No, she's probably off on some business trip again.
Jalen, you've been in your room all day.
I've had a lot of homework, and it's very difficult to get it done.
Is it Saturday? Why don't you get out and go hang out with your friends?
We just moved here, and I have no friends yet. Wish I could hang out with my friends back at home.
Look, I know it's hard, but you gotta make new friends. You gotta at least try, all right?
I was on a gas station.
Don't ever send me any one of those videos ever again. They're fucking garbage, dude. Like, do you just want the stream to be boring? Do you want me to shut it off? Do you want me to fucking kill myself? Oh my god, don't ever again send me one of those stupid tomorrow teaching videos. They fucking suck.
Fear reprisal from the government if they happen to air their true feelings. Once you get to know people, you see how difficult it is. This relentless struggle to stay afloat in China. The economy is in a massive...
Booty Cum donated $2, 636, old but good. Let me see.
How the black was enslaved in the Arab slave market, and then you compare to the Hajj, when they were circling the Mecca. The whole Mecca is a slave market. They were dancing around in circle, and the Arab man was standing there looking at the woman. Oh, I like this lady. Yeah, I'm gonna pick her. Are you married? No? Okay, come with me. Are you married? Yes? Okay, where's your husband? Kill him and then take him as his wife. Why can't the woman cover their face in Mecca? Why?
You want your women naked?
Yeah, you want your women naked. Muhammad said women must cover their face, but not in Mecca. Why? Because Muhammad is horny. That is the concept of Islam. Kill, 13 wives, kill, 13 wives, sex, horny. Even if I disagree with Christian, there's a good story. Jesus died for our sin. He sacrificed himself for the greater good so people can understand. So the mind was open, be open-minded. Islam is all about reciting verse. There's no meditation, there's no learning concept in Islam. It's just remembering words like a sheep, like a zombie. That's all you know.
The Islamic way of life is better than your life. Better than your way of life. Do you know why? It has moral foundations, first of all.
Moral, when religion was formed by fighting.
Right? To you,
go back to the basics, back to basics. How was Islam created? Fighting. Don't tell me fighting is a good religion.
That's the first and foremost.
Religion of peace. Spread peace, don't fight. The origin of Islam is fighting. St. John 1:1 says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. You need to tell me that it's not saying that, and if you're saying it doesn't say that, you need to tell me what it is saying. Who is the Word? I want to debunk you again. Let's have a moderator, because you have people in the Old Testament. You don't even know what God says.
Booty Cum, you didn't give me a link, so you said 636-bit. I don't know. Oh, never mind this video. All right, thanks for the donation, dude. 636.
You have said that you don't believe. You have said that you don't believe in taking women as war booty, and you don't believe in having sex with slaves.
Your book says you can kill babies.
So was Muhammad right or wrong when he permitted it?
Shush!
Okay, answer the question.
Shush!
Don't talk about the Bible.
You're talking about morality, yes? You're talking about morality. Hold on, how can you speak to me when your book says...
He's not answering the question.
Bob, you don't
answer the question.
He did not expect that reaction. It's funny how they're used to playing these stupid games, and then they get shut down.
Good evening, VG. I really hope that you are feeling great tonight. So, check out the exceptionally large crowd that Trump mustered up at one of his rallies in San Francisco, California.
Donald Trump will be in San Francisco tonight for a fundraising event for his re-election for president. And to welcome the former president, supporters held a rally today at How big of a show out was this today, Rob?
Not a big one, Justine. San Francisco and California are known for voting blue in President Trump today. I counted 8 people who gathered with Trump flags and MAGA hats in the parking lot of the Marina Green today. I asked why so few showed up, and they say there are a lot more Trump supporters in the city, but they don't like to show up to events like this.
Well, that's pathetic. Thanks for the donation, finger my ass.
This Looney Tunes retard Bukes Pure finally got fired off the hill. Genuinely a fucking psychopath. Don't have to watch the whole thing, but this was the latest diarrhea she was smearing.
Let me take a look. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Flack for a new segment in which he makes the case for Israeli superiority. Let's take a listen.
Because values and customs make a difference, okay? And the people of Gaza, by the way, if the Israelis did get rid of Hamas, they'd be doing a giant favor to the people of Gaza who hate Hamas too. But let's just go through the lists. Because the Israelis look like us in most ways, values-wise. Maybe we're not doing it the right way. I don't know. Religious tolerance. That doesn't exist in Gaza. You're either Muslim or an infidel, and you better be a Muslim. female freedom, free and fair elections, free speech, gay rights. Can I just finish my list? Pedophilia, I'll put that under don't ask. Child brides and so forth. Equality of the sexes, I'll categorize that under.
Dodo Nutellers, blacks for Trump.
Today we welcome to the program Royce White. Royce is a Republican running for the U.S. Senate seat. Actually, Amy Klobuchar's seat, interestingly enough. Royce has been endorsed by Steve Bannon and Alex Jones in the Minnesota Republican Party. Also hosts the Please Call Me Crazy podcast, available on YouTube. Royce, if I understand correctly, in 2020 you wrote in...
Okay, I'll check that out in a bit.
Under don't make me fucking laugh. The fact that, you know, these people think that this is where they should be aligned with, that these are the values that you support?
Now, if someone complained that Jews didn't share our values and customs, that they didn't look like us, that, say, calling themselves chosen people was
She's criticizing the idea of criticizing Islam for being backwards and insane. Best video ever, donate $2, let me see.
Sir.
Oh no, these are mine, I bought these.
Talking about the things in your hands that I watched you take off the shelf.
Oh no. These, okay, I have a coupon. It's buy one, get all free, I think it was. It's free.
Okay, that's absolutely not a real thing, but even if it was, you didn't buy.
Right here. All right, these are mine. Do you
annoying and also
coupon glasses?
Yeah, that was boring and not funny.
as evidence of religious intolerance. If someone accused Jews broadly of pedophilia or sexual deviance, citing Weinstein, Epstein, and let's say Seinfeld, and argued that as a result, they didn't want to live in a country with Jews, I doubt we would struggle to identify those remarks for what they are: bigotry, anti-Semitism. Now, they belong in to avoid accountability.
Okay, I don't know what the fuck that has to do with anything.
Answer the question.
Answer the
There's
question.
nothing you can... Was Mohammed right or wrong? Answering. Are you going to let me? Is the Dawa team ashamed of their own prophet? Is the Dawa team ashamed of their own book? They are ashamed to defend their own religion. Because their religion is shameful. Ali Dawa is a man who talks about masturbating over babies and is on record. Ali Dawa is a self-propagandist who endangered an innocent family because of his grudge against Tommy Robinson. Ali Dawa.
Ali Dawa is an insane terrorist whack job, and I'm pretty convinced he tried to kill me. After I made that video on Islam, he challenged me to a debate in person in the United Kingdom. And he also said that he'd pay for my hotel room. So he was going to have me killed, and he was going to pay for my hotel room so that his terrorist friends knew exactly where I was at every moment and could plan their attack.
Stop running away! Ali Dawa! Stop running away!
Chill the fuck out, nigga. I guess you're on that autistic ADHD timing today. Why don't you go take some more mushrooms? You're more pleasant when you're high. Here's a cat video.
I have a cat right here. He's a good kitty. He's trying to eat my food. Let me take a look. Wow. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. Those are some good cats. Thanks for the donation, nigga.
Tulsi Gabbard, but you're behind Trump currently, is that right?
That is correct.
So listen, you came to my attention in a clip I talked about the other day where you said one of the issues you find right now is that women have become, quote, too mouthy.
Well, thank you for that, 9014. Excellent spam as always. Appreciate the donation, sir.
Tell me about that. How did you come to believe that?
Well, first of all, I was being humorous.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, no, I was being pretty humorous. I'm kind of a sick puppy. I got a sort of unique humor. But I will say that it is my opinion, but I think even more so a fact that the left has weaponized identity politics in our current political culture, and that the identities of women, the LGBTQ, blacks, and Jews are all sort of used in a similar fashion to manufacture consent that being an American citizen isn't so much that important anymore. And so
give me an
what
example of that. Give me an example of that.
Well,
so let's just pick one of those, for example.
Well, let's take all four, because they're all four fruit from the same poisonous tree.
Well, but just so that it's clear to the audience, let's just pick one as an example to show kind of your line of reasoning. How has female identity been weaponized in order to show that being an American citizen isn't important?
Well, number one, the feminist movement and the women's rights movement have been clumped into a more global citizen-based ideology that we are all one global citizenship, and the women's rights movement is at the helm of that, much by their own powerful organization, grassroots, not only here in the country but all around the world.
If that were the case, though, Royce, and I'm just trying to understand this, I want this to be a conversation.
But wait a second. But what I'm saying is, and let me be even more specific.
Yeah.
The prevailing consensus around the women's rights movement and the feminist movement are ideas such as believe all women. That was popular with the Me Too movement, and then you have an even more pervasive idea that in general, and it's said casually, but it's said with a lot of emphasis and potency, let's say, that men are not useful, and that women are the women in their existence in this country politically right now today, but sort of all around the world, are nothing more than a byproduct of a tyrannical patriarchy. And by that definition, or by that thinking, that men are more so a hindrance on society and
who
useless.
Says that?
And,
who says men aren't useful? Give me a name.
Well, I mean, for one is Anna Navarro, self-described Republican centrist Anna Navarro.
Anna Navarro says that men aren't useful?
Anna Navarro sat right up there on The View with Joy Behar and
Pussy, you donate $2. Look at this pussy trying to be here.
Oh, what the f***? They're just right next to me at the gas station. Yo, are you guys okay?
Yeah, you guys okay? Yeah. Guys hurt at all?
Bro.
Alright, stay right here.
Sit, you might want to sit down. Trust me. You might want to listen. Sit down. Sit down. Bro, what the f? Do you want some water? You want me to go get you guys some water?
Please. Here, take my card.
You sure, bro? Okay.
It has like $2 in it.
Nah, bro. Don't worry about it. I got you, bro. Alright. Here.
Stephen Bonnell III donated $3. Let me see.
Thank you. Me too. And I really hope that you specifically will believe women when they say that they got hurt.
All
Because
right,
I've
thanks
heard
for
a lot of
joining.
things that you said.
Stick around. More Rising coming up next.
Wow. What a piece of shit. Yeah. Oh, I'm a feminist, but all these fucking Jews who are fucking saying they got raped by Hamas, they're fucking lying. Hamas isn't that bad. Wow, what a bitch. Dude, it's too bad we can't send her to fucking Gaza. I am the cat whisperer. Yeah, dude, Destiny is so full of shit, bro. He's so full of shit. Well, thanks for the donation, Stephen Bonnell III. Bootycom donated $2, $6.15 for 1 minute.
I'm gonna I'll show you. I'm thirsty, God. Oh. Oh, yeah. Notice, can I ask if you slip your beautiful feet in my mouth? Please, God. Please, Goddess, I beg you. I'm begging you, Goddess. Through your grave. I'm begging you, Goddess. Put your feet in my mouth. Please. Please, Goddess. Please. It's been so long. Oh, yeah. Oh, my pretty toes. Yeah, nice and done.
You know this guy is right about some of these so-called feminists, especially the ones that support Hamas and dismiss female rape victims, like in that silp that was just shown.
Okay then. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Hi VG. Agree or disagree with this video?
I want to fuck Ben Shapiro, C-Star. I want to fuck Ben Shapiro, C-Star. I want to fuck Ben Shapiro, C-Star. Want to fuck Ben Shapiro, C-Star.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Thanks for the donation 3. Yeah, that is disturbing.
Whoopi Goldberg and the rest of them, and she made a joke about men not being useful except for gay men because they're very good at gossip and accessorizing.
But
she said it right there on national
started
television.
this interview with you saying, oh, what you said about women being mouthy is a joke. You're conceding what Ana Navarro said is a joke. And so you're one example.
Well, no, I don't
hold
think
on
it's a
second,
joke.
Let me get the question.
I don't know. I don't think
Hold
it's
on
a
second,
joke.
Royce. Hold on. You
No,
just
wait
said
a
it's a
second.
joke.
Let's
You
be
just said
clear.
it's a joke.
No, I didn't. I said what I said was said in humor, but it had a lot of validity to it. I don't think what Ana Navarro said was a joke, even though it was said in a joking setting.
How do you know it wasn't a joke then?
No, I said I don't think it's a joke.
Okay.
Just like people would say they don't think what I said is a joke. I have the right to think that. My point is that there is a growing ideology that you can see by looking at social media, which is a good temperature gauge of what people think, obviously, because you're bringing up something I said that was posted on social media.
Well, I don't want to get bogged down in this necessarily, but it sounds, Royce,
No, it's
like
not.
you're
No,
one
it's not
example.
bogged down. It's
sounds
important
like
detail.
It sounds like you're one detail of the prevailing view of the feminist movement being men aren't useful is something Ana Navarro said jokingly. Is that
No. Nana Navarro, just like you're trying to represent my views, or let's not say you, let's say the mainstream media has tried to represent my view about women in general based on one soundbite from one podcast as a general sort of
yeah, but forget about that, Royce. I'm just
let's not
asking you,
forget
what are your
about it.
examples?
No, let's not forget about it. If you're going to keep interrupting me, then I'm going to keep interrupting you. What I'm
This is
saying
going
is
nowhere,
that
though.
the mainstream media, no, you're saying it's not going anywhere. I'm explaining it perfectly fine. The mainstream media is trying to depict or paint a picture of a rising, let's say, misogynist America First movement based on my one soundbite. But then you turn around and say, well, you can't talk about all feminist ideology based on Ana Navarro. What are we talking about? I'm not.
No,
First
so
of all, I'm
let's
not
see if
doing
we
that.
can reframe. No, let's see if we can
Okay.
reframe, Royce, and then we'll
Okay.
move on.
Okay.
You've sort of been leading this.
I bet she dissed that Jewish rape victim because she was white and she herself may be one. No, these black woman who hates whites.
I doubt it. I think she's just an anti-Semite. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
This, okay? You identified a number of groups. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me just get the question out. And then if you disagree with the question, then the audience can judge for themselves.
Okay.
You indicated a number of groups. You named women, and you
Yes.
named Jews, and you named others
Blacks
that are
and
making
the
it so that
LGBTQ.
being an American citizen is no longer super important. We focused
Blacks,
in. Hold on a second, Royce. I gotta
women,
be
the
able to get the question out if
LGBTQ,
we can.
and Jews. I want to be clear.
Hold on a sec.
Don't
you
say
named
in
a
other
number of
groups. Don't say and other groups. The 4 groups were blacks, the LGBTQ, women, and Jews.
Yes. We focused in on women.
Yes.
And I asked you for examples. And
Yes.
the one example that you have provided to justify the claim you made is something Ana Navarro said on The View.
No, just an example.
Well, give me another example. Who are the people saying that men are not useful?
Oh, well, they're not. Well, that just happened to be what Ana Navarro said specifically.
But you said that
the
that's a
ideology.
narrative. Who says it?
The ideology.
Slag, don't need to tell yours. These are all some good videos. If you disagree, you're a dumb fuck.
Now I wonder if those...
Hey everyone, it's me, Adolf Hitler.
Gay bastard!
What are your first masturbation memories? I was a late bloomer and wanked to the Spider-Man porn parody in 2004 called Spider Babe. I was about 13. These people now have it so easy with their access to porn. Your OnlyFans, for example.
I have a really bad tummy ache.
Are you well rested? Any new Frank vids to watch?
There is, in fact, a new Frank vid to watch. We'll watch that soon. Thanks for the donation, James. I don't know when my first time jacking off was, dude. I have no idea. Thanks for the donation. It's a good cat. Aaron P. donated $2. Are they natty? Yeah, I think that person's natty. That person is not natty. That is definitely natty.
When did your tummy start hurting?
Right after I finished eating lentils and peas. Thanks for the donation, James. And that isn't available. Thanks for the donation, Aaron. Booty cum, donate $2. Prepare for brain rot. Oh my god. They're just retarded.
You're watching the aftermath of an Israeli strike on a United Nations school in central Gaza. Dozens of people were killed as a result of Israeli strikes through fighter jets targeting the building where thousands of displaced Palestinians had been sheltering. Of course, as is the case with every strike that Israel conducts in Gaza, children were among those who died as a result. Just absolutely devastating. And this is happening with such consistency in Gaza.
Israel bombs UN school because it's not like people would have been evacuated or there were Hamas officials in there. Let's just call it a school to make people think that there was actually a school in session. Israel military confirmed it carried out the airstrike, which it said targeted Hamas compound operating inside the school. Yep. Well, that sounds about right. I don't know what the problem is here. Caleb donated $2. Let me see.
Today I'm going to teach you about the Matrix, and not the one that tried to attack me.
Is that a matrix?
Correct.
This one has 2 rows and 2 columns, right, Andrew?
Yeah, that's correct. Now listen, if we multiply a matrix by a vector, this will transform the vector.
Wait, hold up. That's not a vector. A vector's like something times I plus something times j.
It's just another way of writing vectors, bruv. This one would be 1i plus 3j. So as an arrow, it'd look like this.
Oh, how'd you do the multiplication?
Just multiply each row of the matrix by the vector column.
Whoa, what do you mean by that? Well, hold on a second. Yeah, how are you gonna times a row by a column?
You just times the first 2 numbers in the row and column, then times the second 2 numbers, and add everything together.
The first matrix row multiplied by the vector column gives us the number that goes here.
And then the second matrix row multiplied by the vector column gets us this bottom number.
So by multiplying the matrix by our original vector 1, 3, we've transformed it into this new vector minus 3, 1.
Oh, so this matrix turns vectors anti-clockwise?
A perfect 90-degree rotation.
Is there a way to know what transformation the matrix is gonna do just by looking at it?
Yeah, so this red and green arrow are our basis vectors, right, with coordinates 1, 0, and 0, 1. Now watch me multiply the matrix by each one and transform them. So that's the first one done.
Don't stop cooking.
There's the second one done. So any vector we transform is just going to follow the basis vectors, right? Now look at the first column of the matrix. Notice how that's where the tip of the red basis vector ends up, and the second column tells us where the tip of the green basis vector ends up.
Yo.
21st Savage donated this gorilla was Richard earlier when he raged at the guy sending him bad videos.
I'm ready to go. Bye. So you found your way here? You start taking you. Let's go. Daddy, you taking her?
Ask me no motherfucking stupid ass question, bitch. You talk to her. You don't talk to me. Answer the phone. I told you to chill. Now you're getting us kicked out of our room, right?
Hello. I'm not done.
That was hilarious. That made me feel a lot better watching a woman get slapped by a pimp.
Attention passengers, this is your captain speaking. At this time we ask you to put your seat backs and tray tables in their full upright positions, and please make sure your seat belts are correctly fastened.
Cabeza de melón loco.
Do you guys know what cabeza de melón loca means in Spanish? Crazy something. Crazy melon head. That was gonna be my second guess. Sure, Tristan. Whatever you say.
Hey gang, just checking in on you. How you guys doing on popcorn?
I think we're soft. We're so good, Dad.
It tastes okay. How's the butter?
We devour so good. You rock, Dad. Seriously. We really appreciate it.
What about drinks? Everybody good on pop?
Can I actually have another one?
One pop. Going once. Going twice.
Dad, you need second hand?
No, I think I can handle it.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good. Enjoy the movie, guys.
Your dad is seriously so sweet.
Since last night we reacted to spiders, can we react to this prehistoric documentary next?
Let me see.
Human. The difference that sets us apart from other animals. To leave at adolescence. Would have left the lifeless body behind to give the sensation.
I don't know if I can watch that without getting a copyright claim, but maybe. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
It's amazing. There's no doubt about that. No looking all eyes, our dad is Superman.
He's seriously incredible. And his story.
You ladies seriously don't even know.
Hey gang, sorry to bother you again.
Oh, no,
It looks like we're out of pop, so I'm just gonna run to the grocery store and get a 12-pack or something.
Oh my god, Dad. Out of the question. She's totally fine with water, Dad.
I'm really sorry about that.
Come on, sit down and enjoy the movie with us.
You sure?
We'll make do. Yeah, we'll make do, Dad. Dad seriously needs to see the meteor scene. Save the rains, Duncan. Hot potato.
I'm just over here trying to figure out how I've been blessed with such great sons.
Hop in, Dad. The water's warm.
Your mom would be very happy right now if she was still alive, I'll tell you that right now.
No, Dad. Raising 3 boys on your own, it's gotta be difficult, Dad. Mom's super proud of you. And that's a fact, Dad. Mom's here with us right now, Dad.
The fuck? What are you growling at me for? Hey, Jasmine. Faye's growling at me. It's a good dog. Yeah, it's a good dog.
You coined one of the most famous catchphrases in history. I pity the fool. What's interesting is I read an article with you once where you said that when you pity the fool, you consider that an act of kindness to
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes.
I always took it as I pity the fool means I want to kill the guy.
No. When you pity somebody, you're showing them mercy. Because I didn't start this pity stuff. It was in the Bible. You know, you can find pity so many times in the Bible and fool so many times. So I put them together. Pity the fool. Because a lot of guys in the Bible was asking for pity.
Yeah.
You know, and then a lot of them was saying I did a foolish act.
Right.
So I put it together.
I didn't realize you did all
Wisdom.
Gaza, that I feel like the more it happens, the less media attention it receives. But it is worth discussing because this is the pain, suffering, and destruction that the United States government, using American tax dollars, is enabling and funding. So if you're wondering what...
So, when they say Israel bombs a UN school, that is incredibly disingenuous. The building was used as a school. There was no school in session. There weren't children there learning about how to kill Jews. There was a terrorist hideout. It was being used as a terrorist hideout. And then they killed Hamas officials there.
The death toll is, we don't have an exact figure because some of the bodies have been basically said 74 others were injured. The Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital said that they had received as many as 40 bodies. Those reported killed in the Israeli offensive in Nusayr.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, why are these Hamas officials hanging out around civilians? I wonder if that has anything to do with using human shields or some shit. No, Finn.
What's up? How are you guys today? We have quite a few new prepared products on frankiesrangemeat.com, so I want to show you them, cook them, taste them, and let you guys know what I think. So we were selling raw beef bacon and raw pork bacon for a while, just like thinly sliced belly, unseasoned. We finally have actual bacon, cured and smoked, both the 100% grass-fed beef bacon and pasture-raised Iberico pork bacon. So these are two very, very special products, highest quality bacon you can get online. This is something new I thought of, a raw blood sausage, so I'm curious to see how this tastes. We have a smoked beef collagen sausage plain. So this is just beef, bone broth, and salt. Doesn't matter.
In Out with Hamas, can we see some cave people now?
Maybe later, Dodo, okay? Just, let's watch some Frank first. This isn't a particularly long video anyway. I want to see that pimp slap video again.
Bye. So you found your wife here? He's not taking you. Let's go. Daddy, you taking her?
Don't ask me no motherfucking stupid ass question, bitch. You talk to her. You don't talk to me.
Looks like Frank is buying slaughterhouse seconds. And the animus that died.
Well, he's, apparently this is from the Amish farm he's in business with, so I don't know. Thanks for the donation though, James.
I told you.
Yeah, everything's okay. Okay. I'm ready to go. Bye. So you found your wife here? He's not taking you. Let's go. Daddy, you taking her?
Don't ask me no motherfucking stupid ass question, bitch.
No matter what type of diet you're on, how strict you are, everyone can have this. We were selling this raw, but it was kind of plain, kind of bland, so we smoked it. It's a little bit better now. Still plain, but it's good. And then we have our Iberico pork sausages back in stock. So we had a raw plain sausage, same treatment with the collagen sausage. We are now smoking the plain Iberico sausage, so just pork fat, and salt. And our breakfast sausage is still raw. This is with the honey and the maple syrup. I figured, people don't really want a smoked sausage for breakfast, but these four products, the bacons and the smoked sausage, are cooked, so you need a minimal amount of cooking. They're still a little rare in the middle, so some people might want to cook them a little more, but the breakfast sausage and the blood sausage are raw, so keep that in mind. I'm going to prepare a slice and sausage of each of these, and then we'll sit down and try them. So we got pork bacon, smoked pork plain sausage, pork breakfast sausage, beef bacon, smoked plain beef sausage, raw blood sausage. All right, guys, so we'll start with the beef. We're gonna do the bacon, then the collagen sausage, and then the blood sausage. Bacon's delicious, very tender, nice smoked flavor.
Debate who's live.
Not too overpowering, not too salty, delicious, very, very good. Very good beef bacon. I had beef bacon.
Eating raw meat sounds so yummy. Wonder how diseased all that meat is.
Yeah, it looks fucking nasty. Just super fucking gross. Thanks for the donation, James.
Taken in the past from other companies, and this is like above and beyond way better. Now we got the plain collagen sausage, which could have probably cooked a little longer. It's not cooked all the way through. It's good. If you guys had our raw collagen sausage, this is 10 times better. But it's plain, you know? And it's not super fatty like the bacon. Like the bacon is delicious because it has all this fat in it. So the plain collagen sausage is like a nice change of pace from regular ground beef. I like it. The beef bacon, I'd give like a 9 out of 10. It's really delicious. The plain collagen sausage, like a high 7, close to an 8 out of 10. I like it. I would like, it's not like you're gonna really crave it and be like, oh, I need to have it, whereas you would with the beef bacon. So the plain collagen sausage is just like, you know, if you're on a strict diet, if you just want something plain that's not gonna upset your stomach, that's what that's for. So now we got the raw blood sausage, which has garlic, onion, and thyme in it. And blood, of course.
Can I ask you why you don't want to debate Friendly Atheist? You said he wasn't appealing. I don't know who that is.
That's good.
Is all this meat raw he is eating?
No, he did cook it. I don't think he cooked it enough, but he did cook it. This is a cat. It's my sweet little kitty. How you doing, little buddy? How you doing, little buddy? This is my Prim Prim. There's my little Prim Prim. Prim Prim. Prim Prim. Prim Prim. Come here, Prim Prim. Come here, Prim Prim. Yeah, that's a good kitty. I love you. Such a handsome boy. So handsome. You're so handsome. My goodness. You're so handsome.
I guess we should try some raw, right?
Ew, he's eating it raw. Oh my god.
It's pretty good raw, too.
Ew.
I mean, if you're on a raw diet and you want something tasty, this is really good. I'm not really sure if the blood makes much of a difference here in the flavor, but it's still delicious.
I'm not black. Donate $2. Is it unethical to name my cat the N-word? He is a black cat. I don't know. You might have a hard time explaining that name when you go to the vet. Thanks for the donation. I am not black.
Delicious. So, all the beef products, very good, excellent. I'm happy with the quality.
What is he eating raw?
He was eating the blood sausage raw. Thanks for the donation, James.
I'm happy how they turned out. So now I'll try the pork bacon. I like pork bacon a little more than beef bacon, but both of these are delicious. If the beef bacon's a 9 out of 10, the pork bacon is like a 9.25.
I really hope Frank gets like salmonella or a parasite from eating that shit raw. That's fucking gross.
Out of 10. So if you're kind of strict, if you don't like eating pork, although this is like the highest quality Iberico pork, very delicious bacon, very good. Flavor and quality you will not see anywhere else. And same thing with the beef. You know, it's not too salty, which I think is something you're going to find really nice about these products is I'm very careful with the amount of salt we put in. So now we have the plain.
Here's Finn. Do you guys see Finn? This is Finn. Here he is. There's Finn.
What is flood sausage?
It's blood sausage. It's sausage that literally has blood added to it. It's fucking nasty. Thanks for the donation, James. Relax, Finn. No. Don't annoy me. Just lie down. No, just relax and lie down. That's what lap is for. Lap is for relax. Okay? That's a good boy. Oh my god.
Pork sausage. It's very good. I like pork a little more than beef, so I would probably rate the plain pork smoked sausage like an 8 out of 10. I would eat this every meal and enjoy it. I think it tastes it's a bit better than the collagen sausage, the beef collagen sausage, that is. So now we'll have the raw breakfast sausage. It's good, 8 out of 10. You know, it's just a plain pork sausage for breakfast. A little bit of maple syrup and honey flavor in there. Overall, super duper high quality stuff. Very tasty, very delicious, minimal ingredients. Again, I'll say it again, I'm very happy and very excited about how these products turned out. And I think you guys are really, really gonna enjoy them. Every single one of them is absolutely delicious. And regardless of which one you choose, you'll be happy with them. I would say, you know, if I had the pastrami in front of me, that's the difference between like an 8 or 9 out of 10 and a 10 out of 10. You know, you have to add a lot more spices and seasoning.
How come we never see Jasmine anymore? Methinks you've humanely slaughtered her, skinned her, and now waiting for her to dry so that you can wear her skin like a leather coat. You're really fucked up for doing that. But now it's time to take your second wife.
I didn't kill Jasmine, so no. But thanks for the donation, Sharts and Queefs. No, Finn. No. Lie down. That's a good boy.
And all that type of stuff. So for what we have here, really just meat and salt. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Excellent. I think they're really delicious. Hopefully we get the pastrami back in stock in a couple weeks or a month or so. And then you guys can try that out too, which is absolutely delicious too. But you guys can try all of these on frankiesfreerangemeat.com. The pork bacon is its own product, the beef bacon as well. And then all of the sausages that are beef are under one section where you can choose that, as well as hot dogs, which we didn't try here today. And then you could also choose the Iberico pork sausages, which are under the Iberico pork sausage section. frankiesfreerangemeat.com. Thank you guys for joining me and continuing to support the business before I completely lose my mind. But I don't want to complain today. So guys, please drop a like on the video, leave a comment down below. Make sure to subscribe and check that notification bell, and I'll see you guys soon.
Hope he chokes on his next meal. Frank is still an idiot. BMO, get out of there. Don't step on my keyboard.
Just an FYI, the friendly atheist name's Hemant Mehta. He's a vegetarian BC he grew up with as a Zionist. I will say that I assume that he's pro-Palestine given that he's critical of Israel.
What are you doing, BMO? What's going on here? Let me take a look.
This is him.
Oh my god, BMO. Fuck. I don't know who this is, so I don't have an interest in debating this person because I don't know who the fuck they are. But thanks for the donation, finger my ass. That video is boring.
Massive downturn, and all the optimism and hope has begun to ebb away. A harsh reality is dawning on an entire nation. And the reality is that the constant promises of the Chinese government are simply hot air. China isn't as powerful and unstoppable as they've been brainwashed into thinking. You can see rockets fly into space, new EVs being showcased, and flashy skylines, but your life isn't improving. In fact, you're being forced to cut back on your spending. Your boss is asking you to work longer hours for less pay, or is delaying your salary, promising to pay you.
For some reason, I will avoid purchasing vegan foods on Frank's website.
I wouldn't buy anything from Frank ever for any reason. Thanks for the donation, though, James.
You next month. Those fancy skylines aren't helping you pay your hopelessly high mortgage fee for the apartment that you don't even actually own, or those high medical bills that aren't covered by the government. And yes, this is a very strange misconception. The government doesn't pay for medical bills in China. You still have to pay out of pocket, and it's very expensive. If you earn $500 a year, which a huge amount of China earns only around $500 a year, a $20 doctor fee for a visit is a huge amount of your income, and it's something that most people can't afford. When cash is low, China becomes incredibly unfriendly, something I've experienced firsthand. China, according to statistics, is the least charitable country in the entire world. Low-income people in China are treated like dirt by the government and society alike. So what do you do if you're just the average citizen in China? Well, you eat bitter, or 吃苦, and work harder. You stave off poverty by sacrificing your health, well-being, and life in order to survive.
Yikes, that is fucking creepy, dude.
The middle class is shrinking. The wealthy are all leaving. China is hiding a great misery. In China, you have to lie about reality. As you can see here, these streamers all broadcasting a false reality of happiness, fun, and prosperity. The reality is that they're all sucking on smog under a crowded bridge on the streets.
Holy crap, that is weird.
You're not allowed to show poverty anymore in China. In fact, someone who filmed a rural wedding was arrested for posting it online because it was a poor rural wedding, and that went against the narrative that China has eradicated poverty.
Apex donated $2.96. I guarantee you, if I debate you on Palestine, you'll just end up calling me anti-Semitic. Will expose your hypocritical position on Russia, calling Putin a war criminal, but Netanyahu's actually that and worse. Palestine, Russia will be victorious. Well, if you want, I can open up the Discord and you can debate me and show everyone how fucking stupid you are, so, let me see. Here you go. There's the Discord link. Ugh.
The harder they push the image of China being a superpower, the harder they censor poverty and the harsh realities of living in China, the more the misery grows. And this is why I make these videos, is to...
Are you the jackass who wanted to debate me?
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. How can you support... Yeah, I'm the jackass. Can you hear me?
Yep.
How can you support Netanyahu when Netanyahu is literally a worse Putin?
Yeah, so he's not deliberately targeting civilians. He's not kidnapping hundreds of thousands of children to brainwash them into thinking that they were always Russian or Israeli. He's not fighting a war of aggression where he just invaded, you know, a sovereign nation for no reason. He's only fighting a terrorist group. in retaliation for October 7th. So how is he in any way relatable to Putin?
Well, the thing with the special military operation in Ukraine, it's been since 2014, and the conflict has been going on between the Ukrainian right-wing government with the Russian separatists for 8 years. So obviously Putin will have to try to stop it any way he could. But the Minsk Accords couldn't do any help, and all other treaties and agreements Ukraine broke, probably because America didn't want peace
What the
in the
fuck
region.
do you mean
So
Ukraine broke?
yeah, the Minsk Accords. They tried the Minsk Accords. It didn't work out. So Putin was left no choice to help the ethnic
Wait,
Russians.
explain what that is.
The Minsk Accords?
Yeah, tell me what that is.
How do you not know what the Minsk Accords
Yeah, tell me what that is.
Were a series of international agreements sought to end the Donbass war between armed Russian separatists and the right-wing Ukrainian government.
Yeah, so the reason the Ukrainian government was fighting against Russian separatists is because they're Russian separatists. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Russia was arming them. Russia was giving them weapons. They were putting these people in. They also tried to infiltrate the government in Ukraine to encourage these Russian separatists to get control of the Donbass region. Part of this was also to prevent Ukraine from being able to join NATO. So what the fuck are you talking about?
The Donbass is majority ethnic Russians. Of course,
yeah, because of a fucking genocide that occurred that the Russia committed, and they replaced them with ethnic Russians. So if China came over, if China came over to the United States, genocided Texas, and replaced them with ethnic Chinese, do you think because most of the people living in Texas are ethnic Chinese, that means China has some sort of valid claim to that territory?
These are people with Ukrainian citizenship who just speak Russian. They're ethnic Russians. They declared independence.
Yeah, because of so Russia committed a genocide against Ukrainians in that region and replaced them with ethnic Russians. So you're saying because a genocide was committed and they're replaced with ethnic Russians, that should be part of Russia now?
The genocide was committed by the Ukrainians against the ethnic Russians for 8 years. And Richie, you never said a thing.
Oh, okay. So you're retarded. Okay, I got it.
You're retarded. How come you never spoke a word for 8 years until 2022? Then all of a sudden you're a hardcore Ukrainian supporter?
What are you talking about? I criticized the invasion of the Ukrainian peninsula. What are you talking about?
Crimea?
Yeah.
There was no video. I never seen you post a video about Crimea.
Yeah, I didn't post a video. I talked about it on stream.
Well, I guess I guess it's gone now because your channel was wiped out or whatever. But the thing is, the Crimea, they also declared independence. It was a majority. It was like a landslide vote.
Yeah, they didn't. No, they didn't. It was a sham election. Everybody knew it was a sham election. They would literally go door to door with Russian military officers with fucking machine guns. They had Russian military officers with machine guns at the polling areas, and everybody knows Russia's elections are fucking shams. How do you think Putin's gotten elected year after year? It's because they just throw away ballots and make up numbers.
No, that's completely false, Richard.
Cool. Right.
Like
so you're telling me Russia has fair and safe elections?
You're telling me Ukraine?
You're telling me Russia has fair, safe elections?
I think they both are have their issues, but I think.
Wait. Are you telling me Russia has fair and safe elections?
I never said that.
Okay, so then you agree that the election was a sham.
But if you want to talk about sham elections, Ukraine has banned 11 opposition political
parties.
parties.
Because they're Russian separatists, you idiot. They're Russian separatists, and they were basically Putin's spies. They were
Well, if
they were all infiltrated by Russian agents. That's why they banned them. If there was a political party in the United States that was infiltrated by China, that was a pro-China party that wanted to instate Xi Jinping as the ruler of the United States, what do you think the U.S. would do? Oh, I guess they're not in favor of democratic elections because they're not going to allow pro-China separatists to fucking run in the election that's working for Xi Jinping. I guess democracy doesn't exist in the United States either. Like, what are you talking about?
What I'm talking about, it seems like the Ukrainians know that for sure in the Donbass, these political parties would be more popular than their right-wing Nazi Azov politicians. So, of course, they're going to ban them.
Okay, that is the most retarded thing you've ever fucking said in this debate so far. So if you actually look at polling data, no right-wing government has ever gotten more than 2% support in any Ukrainian election. So that's retarded. The idea that the majority of Ukrainians would support a far right-wing Nazi regime that has never been shown in any polling data. Show me one single fucking political poll in Ukraine where any far right government has received more than 2% support. You're an idiot. So secondly, again, why in the hell would Ukraine allow pro-Russian separatists that are working as Russian agents to run in a democratic election? That's just idiotic. Why would the United States do that? Why would Canada do that? No sovereign nation would ever allow for something like that.
If something that would happen, they wouldn't need to because nobody would vote them for it in the first place. But the Ukrainian government knows that these parties.
So wait. Are you telling me any other sovereign nation like the United States, like Canada, like anywhere in Europe would allow a foreign nation state or a party that was invaded by a foreign nation state that is working for somebody like Xi Jinping or Putin, whose intention is to create a political party to wipe away the country's sovereignty? You're telling me any other nation would allow that?
Listen, why isn't Donetsk and Luhansk represented in the Ukrainian parliament? There's a reason why it's not, because they know that these political parties.
Yeah, because they're pro-Russian separatists, and they're fucking working as Russian agents. Why would any sovereign nation allow something like that?
Because let's say hypothetically a country with an ethnic majority such as the Russians existed, of course there will be the political parties representing a party that's more pro-Russian.
No. They're not just pro-Russian. They're actual Russian agents working under Putin. So that's bullshit.
According to what? You're asking me for sources. What is your sources on this?
I don't have anything fucking ready right now.
Oh, you're asking me to get, what's your Minsk Accords, blah, blah, blah. You have no problem with getting...
You said that Ukraine is run by fucking Nazis and they're all far right wing, and I pointed out to you there hasn't ever been a political poll where a right wing party has ever received more than 2% support from the public.
Let's just look at the current president of Ukraine, Zelensky. He just was in your Canadian Parliament applauding a former neo-Nazi who collaborated with Adolf Hitler.
Okay, so Zelensky, who's Jewish, by the way, you're accusing him of being a Nazi, even though he's fucking Jewish. And by the way, Ukraine has to be one of the most Nazi-hating countries on the planet. The Nazis absolutely decimated Ukraine. They eradicated Ukraine of fucking Jews. Ukraine is one of the most Nazi-hating places on the fucking planet. And by the way, it was the fucking Speaker of the House that who didn't do his due diligence, who's responsible for having that fucking Nazi in fucking Parliament and having everybody clap. What the fuck does this have to do with Zelensky being a right-wing Nazi?
Well, if he's such a anti-Nazi guy, he wouldn't clap for it. Even the Parliament Speaker said this guy fought.
Okay, so you're saying the entire Canadian government is made up of Nazis because everybody in the House clapped?
Well, most of them are idiots, but Zelensky...
Okay, wait. You said if somebody clapped in Parliament, that means they're a Nazi. So every single member of the Canadian Parliament are Nazis because everybody clapped?
I was speaking specifically about Zelensky. I didn't speak about the Canadian
So do you have any evidence that Zelensky knew that this guy was a Nazi and clapped for him?
The Parliament Speaker said he fought the
Do
Russians.
you have any evidence that Zelensky knew this guy was a Nazi and clapped for him?
He said he fought the Russians. right, in the parliament.
Okay,
Who else
so
other
do
than
you
Nazi?
have any evidence that Zelensky clapped for this guy because he's a Nazi?
Well, I just gave you my
Okay,
evidence.
so apparently Zelensky, who's ethnically Jewish, is a Nazi. That's what we're going with now.
And he has yet to ban the Azov Battalion, a hardcore right-wing
Azov,
Nazi.
yeah, so
Yeah.
Azov Battalion is not a Nazi battalion. That is Russian
It is.
propaganda. Azov Battalion absolutely annihilated Russian troops on the Crimean Peninsula. So then Russia was butthurt about it, and then they accused them all of being Nazis. Azov Battalion is not a Nazi battalion, you fucking moron.
Just look up Azov Brigade. It's the first thing that says it's a far right-wing militia.
Yeah, that's great. So Azov Battalion is not a Nazi battalion. That is Russian bought bullshit because they were butthurt that Azov Battalion absolutely wiped out Russian troops in the Crimean Peninsula. That's where that whole thing came from. That is where all that information came from. You can track all of these fucking stories where they originated from. They originated from out of Russia. Russia was the one accusing Azov Battalion of being Nazis because they absolutely decimated Russian troops in the fucking Crimean Peninsula.
Oh, like they decimated them in Mariupol, where the Chechen battalions wiped out the Azov battalions right out of the steel plant in Mariupol.
That's great. Again, the origin of when Azov Battalion was accused of being Nazis is all coming from fucking Russia.
It's just look at their Wikipedia page. It's the first thing that says it's a far right-wing militia.
That's great. All the information. Okay, Wikipedia. Yes, Wikipedia is the all-knowing source. So again, there is no credible evidence that Azov Battalion is a Nazi battalion. All of that information was coming out of Russia after they were absolutely destroyed by Azov Battalion in the Crimean Peninsula. That's where all that information came from. I don't care about fucking Wikipedia. Show me any credible evidence that Azov Battalion is a fucking Nazi battalion.
I'll just send it in the Discord right now about multiple articles stating that they have right-wing Nazi links.
Sure. Show me.
And you're talking about, you're talking about.
Show me. Show me. Link it.
This is from CNN right here. Right here. Like, give me one second. And also, you're talking about Crimea. It's not like who controls Crimea right now. It's not the Ukrainians. So
yeah, I know.
I'm not sure who. So who got wiped out? I don't know what you're talking about.
Azov Battalion absolutely decimated Russian troops in the Crimean Peninsula. They weren't able to take over the entire peninsula, but they fucking decimated Russian troops in the Crimean Peninsula. That's where all that Nazi rhetoric came from fucking Russians.
Let's not talk about how the Wagner Group dealt with the.
Yeah, and Wagner Group is the fucking Nazis. Yeah. Why do you think they're called Wagner?
It's a private militia, actually, so they will hire anyone. Doesn't matter if you're
Muslim, so
Christian.
The leader of the Wagner Group is a Nazi. That's why he called it Wagner. He literally called it Wagner because he's considering it Hitler's orchestra. The guy has Nazi tattoos all over his fucking body. So yeah, Wagner is run by fucking Nazis, and they also hire Nazis.
No, they hire Muslim students.
Yeah, and Muslims are fucking Nazis. They want to eradicate the world of Jews. Hitler also loved the religion of Islam. He actually said, I wish Germans could adopt the religion of Islam because Islam hates Jews. It's also a war religion where you're supposed to go to war with people who you don't agree with. Hitler also was in league with Muslim leaders at the time to help recruit for the SS. So yeah, Muslims are oftentimes Nazis.
Well, like Stepan Bandera, who collaborated with the Nazis against the Russians World War II, who's an idol to the vast majority of westernized Ukrainians. You go to Kyiv, there's multiple statues of Stepan Bandera, who is responsible for killing how much Poles in World War II, how many Jewish people, and you're talking now. You support Ukraine.
I don't know about any of that, but where's the shit about Azov Battalion?
It's not letting me send in the chat. Should I go and
give me a second.
Right.
I don't know. Let me see if I can just make a new channel. How do you create channel text? Let me see. I'll put it links.
But I gotta run now, but I'll be gladly to join you, debate you more.
So put it in the links channel.
Links channel. Yeah, I see new video alert live. Okay, right here. This is by CNN. Just saying right now.
Far-right battalion has key role in Ukraine's resistance. Its neo-Nazi history is being exploited by Putin. Russia speaker... So wait, let me see. Vladimir Putin, blah, blah, blah. Protect Russian speakers from genocide at hands of neo-Nazis. Speech broadcasted before the invasion began. We will seek to denazify Ukraine, ignoring the fact that the country's president, Vladimir Zelensky, is Jewish. For the Kremlin, Exhibit A is the special mission, is the far-right Azov movement, part of the military and political landscape in Ukraine for nearly a decade. Azov's military and political wings formally separated in 2016 when the far-right National Corps Party was founded. Azov Battalion had by then been integrated into the Ukrainian National Guard, an effective fighting force that's very much involved in the current conflict. Battalion has a history of neo-Nazi leanings, which have not been entirely extinguished by its integration in the Ukrainian military. In its heyday, as an anonymous militia, the Azov Battalion was associated with white supremacist neo-Nazi ideology and insignia. It was especially active in and around Mariupol in 2014-2015. CNN teams in the area at the time reported Azov's embrace of neo-Nazi emblems and paraphernalia. After its integration of the Ukrainian National Guard, amid discussions in the U.S. Congress about designating the Azov movement a foreign terrorist organization, Ukraine's then Minister of Affairs, Arsen Azkov, defended the unit. Shameful information campaign about the alleged spread of Nazi ideology among Azov members is a deliberate attempt to discredit Azov unit and the National Guard of Ukraine, he told the newspaper Ukraz something Pravda 2019. The battalion still operates as a relatively anonymous entity. It has been prominent in defending Mariupol in recent weeks, and its resistance has been widely praised by members of the government. For Putin, who has falsely claimed Ukraine's government is run by drug addicts and neo-Nazis, Azov prevents an obvious target. Moscow has given the government an outsized role in the conflict, routinely accusing of human rights abuses. March 7th, Russia's ambassador to the United Nations blamed the Azov regiment for blocking an evacuation corridor in the besieged port city, saying they were using citizens as human shields. That claim has been repeated, consistent in Russian media. Same day, Azov Major Denis Pronsk said in the video, shared something on Twitter, attempts to organize a safe corridor, blah, blah, civilian people failed because several actions of the enemy Russian forces in the assembly area. After the bombing of Mariupol theater that was sheltering civilians and had children written in Russia on the ground on either side of the building, the Russian defense minister accused militants of the National Azov Battalion for carrying out the attack. In the Russian disinformation playbook, the Azov movement is a tempting target, one where fact and disinformation can be elided. The existence of an identifiable Azov movement within Ukraine armed forces, an effective element at that, poses uncomfortable question for the Ukrainian government and Western allies, which continues to send arms to the country. CNN has reached out to Ukraine's defense ministry for comment. In the not too distant past, Azov's membership openly espoused white supremacist views and cultivated links with military-minded groups and individuals in the West. 2010, blah, 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 the leader of the National Corps, the Azov movement's political wing, reportedly said the goal was to lead white races of the world on the final crusade. Yeah, so this is all bullshit from back in 2010, 2014. So, again, all of this Nazi rhetoric right now about the Azov Battalion is all coming out of Russia. They're using it as propaganda to prevent the United States from funding Ukraine. That's all it is. Again, there's not currently any evidence of widespread Nazi ideology within the Azov Battalion. This has all come immediately after Azov Battalion massacred fucking Russian troops in the Crimean Peninsula. That's where all of this fucking originated from. So, and again, Russia has been doing this to disincentivize sending military aid to Ukraine.
I can send you multiple articles before the special military operation.
I don't fucking care.
Oh,
That's
you don't
great.
care because it doesn't fit your narrative, Richard. Come on, you know there's hardcore Nazi sympathizers in Western Ukraine. Just by fact that there's multiple shrines and statues of Nazi collaborator Stepan Bandera, and he was responsible for killing hundreds of thousands
That's
of
great.
Poles and Jewish
Again,
people.
Ukraine. So again, if you look at Ukraine, they hate Nazis. There is no political
That's why
reason
they
for
worship
any of
Stepan
them to.
Bandera.
There's no political reason for any of them to be sympathetic to Nazis. There has not been a single far right wing party in Ukraine that's gotten 2% of support.
It's Zelensky.
Yeah, that's great. Zelensky, the Jewish guy, is a Nazi. Right. That's a cool story. Yeah, that's a cool story. That's a cool story. Yeah, Zelensky, the Jew who's had family members that died in the Holocaust. Yeah, he's the Nazi. Cool story.
Richard,
that's why
do yourself
Putin
a
worked so
favor.
closely with Wagner Group, who was run by a fucking Nazi. Right.
Wagner is a private military. It's
Yeah,
private.
right. A private military run by fucking Nazis who hires Nazis.
You can only name one guy, Utkin. That's it, Dmitry Utkin. Wagner hires anyone from any background or religion. It doesn't matter. It's a private military.
It's just the leader of the
about
group
money.
who's a Nazi. That's the only person you can actually
Prigozhin wasn't a
name.
Nazi.
Yeah, that's the only person you can actually name. It's also not like Wagner Group committed Nazi shit during the Ukrainian war. It's not like they captured. It's not like they captured POWs and brutally fucking tortured them, cutting off their fucking genitals and then letting them bleed to death or anything. Yeah, they only have a Nazi leader, but Wagner Group, they're fine people. They're good old boys.
They're
Right.
a private military. They have no espoused political position other than what they're hired to fight for. Same thing with Blackwater. Same thing with Blackwater fighting for America. They're fighting on behalf of Americans. Obviously, they were right wing.
Okay, so you make up excuses for Nazi militias when they're fighting for Russia,
For the
but
Azov battalion.
yeah, but Azov battalion, they're all filled with Nazis. Yeah, they had far right wing members back in 2010. Right now, I don't see any widespread evidence that Azov battalion is a Nazi battalion, quote unquote. Again, the only reason this rhetoric is going around is because Russia's butthurt that Azov battalion fucking decimated them in the Crimean Peninsula.
Well, that's why they
Again, by the way, you said you wanted to debate me on fucking Palestine, so...
Well, let me get back to you because I'm running out of time, but I'm glad to debate you more. But do yourself a favor, just go to any Ukrainian rally in Toronto area. I'll guarantee you're going to see black and red Nazi flags that are
I'm sure, right.
Yeah,
I've seen tons of that. That's why it's all over the news everywhere that Ukrainians are all Nazis, right? You're only hearing that from Russian media. You're only seeing that from Russian media. So maybe you should just watch less TikTok. You're going to see a lot of stupid bullshit. You're going to see a lot of stupid bullshit because it's promoted by the Chinese Communist Party.
I know you're a Zionist. I know you like to believe whatever fits your narrative.
I'm a Zionist. So do you believe in a two-state solution?
I feel that it should be up to the Palestinian, the indigenous population.
Do you believe in a two-state solution? Yes or no?
No, I do not.
Okay, so you want Israel to be completely eliminated. You want Israel to be destroyed as a state, which would result in a second Holocaust. But I'm the one supporting Nazism. Right, you're supporting people who support a fucking radical terrorist group that wants to eradicate the world of Jews. You want the destruction of Israel. But, Richard, you're supporting Nazism when you support a political stance that would result in a second Holocaust. Cool story, dude.
No, listen. You support the right-wing extremist Netanyahu. How many Palestinians have killed under his regime compared to how many Israelis died from Hamas? It's night and day, the difference. It's 100 to 1 ratio.
Oh my god. I don't know. Okay, so should Israel just get rid of the Iron Dome so that more Jews die, so that they have, so that it can be, the deaths can be equivalent? So should Israel just let more of their citizens die? They should get rid of the Iron Dome. They should get rid of the border wall so that terrorists can shoot rockets and climb over to Israel and murder more civilians That way, the deaths can be even, right? Then, like,
No,
Israel will
what
have
you
a better
should do-
argument for killing, Palestinians because, oh, well, 30,000 Jews died, so it's okay if we kill 30,000 Palestinians? Is that how it works?
No, it works by going back to where you came from. Where did the Zionists came from? They came from Europe. They should pack their luggage and go back to where they came from. This is Muslim
Oh,
land.
okay. So do you think Canada and the United States shouldn't exist because they stole Native American land? Would you support like Native Americans murdering and raping fucking women as this like resistance movement? Should every Canadian, every American move back to Europe? Like, I this is just insane.
Certainly, from the Native Americans' perspective, they should.
Okay. So you're just retarded. Okay, I got it.
No, you are supporting a Zionist regime. Richard, you're not even Jewish yourself. You're just a Canadian
Yeah,
citizen.
right. I think Jewish people have a right to exist. I think Israel is one of the. I think Israel is protecting Jews from facing a second Holocaust. And yeah, they have a right to live there. They have ancestry there. Jews were living in that region for 2,000 years until they were kicked out by the fucking Romans. That's one of the reasons why Jews moved to that location. On top of that, Palestine didn't exist as a state. It was run by the Ottoman Empire, which was then defeated by the fucking British. I don't know, like, I don't understand, like, what's the actual argument for Palestinian Arabs controlling all the land and the state of Israel not existing? Like, what's the actual argument?
Why can't this is Muslim land? They had an indigenous population.
Oh, okay, so we hate Jews. So Arabs hate Jews. That's the basis for getting rid of Israel, because Arabs hate Jews.
The Holocaust happened in Europe, so
yeah, so Arabs hate Jews, and that's your argument for the state of Israel not existing.
Do ultra-Orthodox Jews hate Jews? Because last I checked, they are the actual religious Jews.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's great. So your argument for the state of Israel not existing is Arabs hate Jews because they're Muslim. That's why Israel shouldn't exist.
Explain why the Iranian government hasn't got rid of the Jewish minority in Iran. These Jewish people have been living in Iran for thousands of years.
Yeah, right. They just have to pay extra fucking taxes and don't have the same rights as Muslim citizens. They've been living peacefully for all this time. It's just that, occasionally they have to suffer massacres. They're imprisoned if they express their religious beliefs in the wrong way in public, and they have to pay extra taxes. But they've been living peacefully. Right. I love hearing those stories.
I can send you multiple articles and documentaries about how the Jewish people have lived peacefully.
Yeah, peacefully. It's just that they can't practice their religious beliefs openly. They have to pay extra taxes, or else they're either jailed or killed. Right. They've been living peacefully.
They have synagogues in Iran. They haven't been bulldozed, unlike the Palestinian homes that have been bulldozed by the Zionist regime.
Gee, I wonder why they're bulldozed. I wonder if it has anything to do with them committing fucking war against them. Gee, I wonder.
Why did 9/11 happen, Richard? History didn't start on 9/11.
What do you mean, why did 9/11 happen? It's because of a fucking Islamic jihadist terrorist group.
No, it's because America occupied and bombed Afghanistan and Sudan.
No. They're Islamic jihadists. That's why. It's written in their religion that they must commit jihad and go to war against other nations to spread Islam. That is why they attacked America. That is why all these terrorist groups exist. That's why they're all fucking assholes.
No, you gotta look at the root cause. We have to deal with the root.
Yeah, the root cause is Islam. The root cause is Islam.
It's America and its foreign policy. People are waking up. People hate America. Wake up, Richard. Nobody likes the American imperialism.
Right. Nobody likes American imperialism. That's why they're all trying to move to the United States. That's why all of these people are all trying to flee their homeland and then find some sort of way of living in America because everybody hates America.
The Zionists should join you there in America then. The Zionists should pack up their things and go back
Yeah,
to
that wouldn't
Europe
create a
and
state.
America.
That wouldn't create a Jewish state.
Listen, you got to realize, you got to look at the root causes. It was because of America's support of the apartheid state Israel. It was because of the occupation.
Yeah, apartheid. So please explain to me how Israel is an apartheid state. Are you there? You there? Okay, I think he fucked off or something. All right. Well, that was stupid.
I guarantee you if I debate you on Palestine you will just end up...
Oh wait, I already listened to that one.
Lol. Was that the retard that called Israel an apartheid because non-citizens couldn't vote there?
I don't know if that's the same person, but sounds like that's how things were headed. Thanks for the donation, Grey Knight. Yeah, so his whole argument for why Israel shouldn't have existed is Arabs hate Jews. I love it. Hello? Vegan Gay, you are now in my Discord. What's up? Are you there? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, if
Okay.
To push this facade aside so people can see the reality of China. Thank you for watching. And if you'd like to see the real China and keep up to date with what's happening there...
Shots fired! Shots fired! I got no eyes on. He went to the west. Get out of here! Get out of here!
Hi everyone, Donut here. Oh my god, that was like 20 days of no video, but look, I'm back. In this incident, we're going to talk about a shooting where over 400 rounds were fired. But first, our sponsor for this video is PBS Dev. The economy is in shambles. Inflation is on the rise. And that means a lot have an A+ rating, no minimum /donut to get your free February 24th, 2024, 12:56 p.m. He says someone pulled a gun on him and then jumped in a car and sped off. This caller is different than most and might not be the brightest because he follows the person who just put a gun to him. Crazy son of a bitch. While he's following the gunman, he's on the phone with 911. He's chasing the gunman until the police can come chase the gunman. But then this happens.
Looks like we're gonna be heading north on Greenridge.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Suspect hit! I got shots fired! You need some people over here now!
What you didn't see there.
Can we please react to this soon?
Yes, we'll react to that soon. Don't worry, Dodo. Thanks for the
There's
donation.
that the suspect pulled over, got out of his car, and aimed his gun at the officer, which is always a very smart thing to do. What the suspect didn't know, though, is that this officer had obviously been waiting his entire life for this moment. Let's take a look at how quick this was. And now the drive-by.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
So after that part, the suspect and the officer put some distance between themselves, and the officer grabs the artillery and calls for backup.
Male black or native, wearing a cream-colored sweater. He went in towards the house area. Send me everybody you got. He's still armed. I got no eyes on. He went to the west. Get out of here! Get out of here!
The officer then returned fire towards the direction of the threat and moved towards it. Dud. He might be out of breath now, but we got to give credit where it's due. This officer got fired at 3 separate times by the suspect, returned fire, and controlled the scene, all by himself.
Show some damn respect.
There's not much more to this video because directly after this, the suspect ran into a random person's house and did a boom boom to his head. Can you imagine you're sitting there on the couch watching football and a random dude runs into your living room and just... The officer, of course, is on paid administrative vacation. Now for our main video, get your vests and flashlights out because there's rounds going to be flying everywhere.
No, me and Mike the Vegan aren't really friends anymore. Haven't talked to him in quite a while.
400 of them. This is a literal war zone. March 10th, 2024, Tucson, Arizona, 9:45 a.m. Officers from the Tucson Police Department went to arrest the guy. This guy. He had a couple warrants out for his arrest. He was wanted for felony domestic violence and aggravated assault. He does not sound like a nice person.
I mean, this guy was a real jerk.
Officers arrived at his residence and then tried to negotiate a surrender with him for 5 hours. This dumb obviously refused to come out, which is why I'm making a video about it. And what you're about to see is SWAT attempting to enter his residence with their armored vehicle.
Nice, Weeks. Shots fired. Get back. Shots fired from deep inside the house. Hey, tuck in, boys. Definitely sounded like a rifle.
With the officers taking rifle fire from inside the house, they decide to do a little pew-pew in the suspect's direction so that they can reposition.
Stand by, stand by. Cheyenne team to CP. I'm gonna give directed fire.
Hang on.
Cheyenne team
We're gonna get directed fire so you guys can get up over that wall. Wait, stand by. Where are you guys gonna go to? We're gonna give directed fire for you to move. You're gonna go up and over?
You guys too, I want you to move. This Cheyenne team. I'll be last man. Go to the back of the bat and get in the bat.
I'm also gonna throw a bag.
Copy. Also copy. Cheyenne team's gonna go to the bat. Tahoe team or Avalanche team to the bat as well. Initiate, initiate, initiate.
The thing about any plan like this, though, is that the enemy gets a say in that.
Oh, fuck. Who the hell are you and what do you want?
Oh, hold on, just give me 1 second. So, remember the guy you were talking to a couple of days ago who, asked you about name the trait?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm the same person.
Okay.
So, if someone were to bite a bullet on species normality, i.e., it's acceptable to kill human beings if 51% of human beings are, I don't know, mentally disabled, right?
Right.
And I'm just not sure why that's particularly interesting or why. Like,
well, you're proving the only way to justify killing animals is to take away human rights, so that would be a situation in which you're taking away human rights.
Yes. I'm just not sure why that's particularly convincing.
Well, you're probably not going to convince any particular person when you're debating them to go vegan. What you're proving, though, is that the only way to justify killing animals is to take away human rights, which your average person, at least watching the debate, would assume is, an untenable position.
Mm-hmm. But in the case of something like species normality, right? I mean, it is the case in reality that there is species normality. So you say
I don't know what you mean by it's the case in reality that there's species normality. What do you mean by that?
I mean, in reality, there is species normality. I mean, it's more likely that, humans produce agents that are of higher intelligence. That's just the case. I mean, are you going to deny that?
Okay.
Right. So that's the case. So providing a hypothetical to that, I'm just not really sure the untenability of that.
Like
Because-
again, they said they have a principle that would justify taking away human life. That's what Name the Trade either does. You either point out that they have a inconsistency and they bite the bullet and they say they're fine with taking away human rights, or they change their position and either go vegan or come up with some other excuse. So that's the whole end of the name the trait dialogue tree. So if they say they're fine with killing human beings, if a simple majority of them were mentally disabled, that sounds kind of insane and retarded to me. I think it would to most people.
Well, it would be okay. So you told me, yeah. So I guess that would just be the end of it. The whole name the trait thing. So want to go to another topic, which is anarcho-capitalism.
I don't really want to talk about that. I kind of want to go back to my stream.
Oh, okay.
But take care, dude. Who are you? Hello? Hello? Okay, I have no idea what the fuck.
Good news, VG. This piece of shit anti-Semite got fired from her job at The Hill. What did she say in that clip with the rape victim of Hamas attack on October 7th? I saw that you were disgusted.
She rolled her eyes and dismissed the claims of sexual assault and rape against Israeli women. But yeah, that's great. She's a piece of shit. She's a massive anti-Semite. And, like, dude, when you see that clip of her, like, treating people like that who are victims of rape, it's like, yeah, get fired, bitch. Thanks for the donation, finger my ass.
That plan as well.
Fire Kush, I think he's right. I got you! Ready? Inside. Hold up. We're up! We're in!
After this exchange, even more time went by. Negotiators during that time were trying to still get this dumb to come out of the house, but it always ended in shots from the suspect.
No, he's shooting out the 2-door. Give me directed fire just above the front door or window. Hold. Okay. Redahoff to bat. We're going to give you directed fire from the Suburban on the east side of the house as you're moving. Having a win. Initiate. Ready. Directed fire. Hold. Holding. Bats out. Directed fire. Suburban. Cease. Sending. That wasn't me. Yep.
And you can hear just how exhausted these guys are. At this point in the video, officers have been there and exchanging fire for 7 to 8 hours. But the suspect is pretty goddamn determined. He even sprayed down the little robot that officers sent in to communicate with him. What did those robots ever do to you?
I'm fucking parched right now. Can I suck your cock?
Sure, why not? Thanks for the donation, Master Qui-Gon.
Climb the tower.
This situation is just dragging on now. He's becoming an even bigger danger to police and the public. SWAT decided to send in the Rook. We've talked about the Rook before. It's like an armored bearcat.
Ring Power Tactical Solutions presents the Rook.
Huh. That's interesting.
OMGVG. Did you know that the piece of shit carnivore MD vegetables will kill you doctor is actually not an MD and is playing the role of one online? He got exposed by this guy. Check it.
Let me take a look.
So Anthony Chafee, the fake MD carnivore doctor, called me out.
Big food companies pump out the vast majority of nutritional studies, and I saw this at nutritional epidemiology. It's all to push processed food and crap, and saying that sugar is safe or aspartame is safe, and they get these influencers to pay them off to say that, oh, aspartame is really good. Dr. Ids, he got caught saying, oh, aspartame is actually healthy and all is really good for you, but he was actually paid to say that, and he didn't disclose that he was being paid to say that. Dr. Ids, IDZ.
This is going to be a fun one, so before I expose him for being a fake, let's quickly address his claims about me. Time school. Firstly, he claimed that I make videos saying aspartame is really good and it's actually healthy for you. This is a terrible misrepresentation of my content because anyone who actually listens to my videos knows that I've never said that artificial sweeteners are good for you. What I do discuss is their safety. Remember, something being safe to consume and something being good for you are two very different things. The reason I've done several posts on them in the past is because hundreds of people make fear-mongering videos about them, claiming they cause cancer, obesity, diabetes, and even stroke based on extremely poor science. Debunking these myths with evidence.
Go vegan or suffer, you shall. Donate $2. How long ago did you get your vasectomy? I think I got my vasectomy when I was 23 years old. So it's been almost 10 years now. Yeah. How did it go overall, and do you feel any different at all? Went fine. Didn't have any adverse side effects from it, aside from my testicles being sensitive. More sensitive than normal for, I'd say, about a year. Are there any other benefits or cons you've noticed? All it does is prevent you from getting girls pregnant. I'm in my younger 20s and don't have a partner, but have thought about it. Just curious, thank you. I'd recommend getting one. If you're going to get one, you should consider it a permanent procedure. It is technically reversible, but again, you should consider it a permanent procedure. So if you have any plans of having children in the future, you should donate at least one sample of sperm, just in case. But, yeah, if you don't want to have kids, just get a vasectomy. Thanks for the donation. Go vegan or suffer you shall.
Evidence from dozens of controlled human studies every time I talk about it is not saying they're healthy for you. Secondly, aspartame is safe. We have meta-analyses of literally hundreds of controlled human studies showing that artificial sweeteners don't impact glycemic markers. They don't negatively impact your weight. Interestingly, compared to sugar or even water, they could even aid in weight loss. And the evidence is abundantly clear there's no reason to fear them. Which is why the European Food Safety Authority, the Joint Expert Committee on Food Additives, Food Standards Agency in the UK, Food Standards Australia and New Zealand, and basically every leading healthcare country across the world, including those with free socialized care, agree that it is safe. So if you...
Did your balls turn black from bruising? No, I didn't have any bruising at all.
think aspartame isn't safe, then you're simply choosing feelings over facts. Moving on, apparently I'm a paid shill and I've been caught for not disclosing a partnership. This just shows you how poor his ability to investigate and interpret information actually is. First of all, I didn't hide the fact that I worked with the ABA to educate people on the safety of aspartame. I literally put paid partnership. The issue they had was the adequacy of the disclosure, not the fact that it wasn't disclosed. They wanted an audible disclosure in the video too, so for me to actually say paid by the ABA in the video. Which doesn't make sense because it's very rare for American creators to audibly disclose any partnership in any video. Look at Flav City for example, no audible disclosure, just paid partnership. Look at Mark Hyman, clearly promoting his functional health clinic, yet no paid partnership label. So expecting me to do something that is not common practice amongst creators is kinda silly. Also realise that the warning letter was from the FTC, which is an American organisation, and I'm not American. I follow the Advertising Standards Authority in the UK, and on their Influencer's Guide to Making Ads Clear document, it clearly states that simply putting ad with or without a hashtag, or using the paid partnership feature is sufficient for any partnership. Which is exactly what I did. So no, I didn't lie about having a sponsor, and that's the second false accusation he said against me. He's also claimed that all of my education is run by the Seventh-day Adventist Church, which is so ridiculous I'm going to leave it there. Now, on to the juicy part. Speaking of failing to disclose things, did you know that Anthony is actually not an MD? On his YouTube with over 300,000 subscribers, he states that he's an American medical doctor. And on his bio...
That is illegal if he is not an American medical doctor.
As a username, it says MD. That's interesting because he can't be...
Is a vasectomy worth it? The extreme pain of the procedure, it's not extremely painful.
Found on any American national database for doctors. Even on the Australian medical database, there is one entry for Anthony Chaffee, which shows that he has a Bachelor of Medicine, Surgery and Obstetrics from Ireland in 2013. But no mention of MD anywhere. Oh, and get this, in his bio he also put nutritional research. Now, I don't know about you, but this implies that Anthony is active in the nutrition research space. You know, perhaps he's published some research or has a degree in nutrition or research for that matter. But interestingly, there are no publications with the author Anthony Chaffee as well as no nutrition degree. So when he claims that he's a nutritional researcher, what he actually means is he Googles some shit and poorly interprets research. So that's another thing he's lied about. You really thought I was done? Oh, there's more. Also on his About section, he claims he's a neurosurgical resident. This implies he's training to be a neurosurgeon. And guess what? He's not even in training. And I know this because I've had direct messages from old colleagues of his, which I'm gonna keep private for now, who can confirm he isn't in any surgical training program. So he lied about that as well. Now, some people may think that these things aren't really a big deal, but it's so important to be transparent and not mislead your audience when it comes to your qualifications. I have almost 3 million followers on social media, with the vast majority of them being from America. I could easily put MD next to my name to boost credibility and gain a lot more traction, but I don't do that because I don't have an MD, it's a completely different qualification. I put my actual credentials, which is the MBBS degree, which is the main medical degree in the UK for doctors. People are desperate for help when it comes to their health. Statistics show that 1 in 2 Americans get misinformed on social media. And seeing as though Americans are a huge part of the social media space, putting American doctor, MD and nutritional research next to your name is a false appeal to authority in order to get people to trust you. The fact he's willingly lying about his own credentials not once but multiple times immediately puts into question his credibility and willingness to deceive you for monetary gain. You might say, well, what is he selling? He's just telling people to go on a carnivore diet. Ah, well, the list of things he's selling is longer than his fake qualifications. He sells 30-day carnivore challenges. Big steak delivered to your door. Natural tallow and soaps with a discount code. The carnivore bar with another discount code. Oh, what's this? X3 bar system with another, you guessed it, discount code. And there's more where that came from. Now, just ask yourself, if he's willing to lie to hundreds of thousands of people about his qualifications to position himself as some kind of authority, then you should wonder what else he's lying to you about. This is the man who is not active in academic research, has no relevant nutrition training, who genuinely believes that vegetables are harmful for you. Let that sink in for a second. He believes he's figured something out that all of medicine globally hasn't. All of cardiology, all of the Royal Colleges of Medicine.
So Anthony Chaffee isn't even a medical doctor. I didn't know that. And nor did I tell us Will Tennyson did a collab with Paul Saladino. Wow. So he has, you know, I've said this about Will Tennyson before. He's a clout-chasing, lying jackass. He will do anything for views and clout.
An animal-based...
What a complete asshole. Wow. Thanks for promoting a lying scammer who is well known to deceive his audience by misrepresenting research. What a fucking piece of shit. Thanks for the donation, N-word. Thee than thou, donate $2. Please react. Let me see. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Those cows love the kitty. Oh my god. So orange. That's a nice orange kitty. Those are nice baby cows. Oh my god. Cows are definitely our friends. Well, thanks for the donation, Thee Then Thou. Appreciate it.
The Rook Hulk smashed through a wall of the home, revealing the man who exploited the infinite ammo glitch. What they saw was a suspect with a weapon to his head, surrounded by other firearms, and you probably guessed it, he saved one round for himself before officers could apprehend him. Good news is, even with over 400 rounds being fired, he was the only person to get shot, and nothing of value was lost. It wasn't for lack of trying, though. Here's what the vehicles looked like that the officers were actually using for cover. I mean, look at the mags the dude was running, too. That's all we have for today. Thank you for spending time with me, and
let me see this. This is Chief Nutrition.
Palestine has always existed way before the Jews inhabited there. They evolved from tribes known as a Canaanites tribe. What you believe were Zionist propaganda that was trying to erase Palestinian history?
That is not true. There was never any nation called Palestine. The Romans called it Palestine as an insult to the Jews after they expelled the Jews from that region because the Jews were at war with the Philistines. But thanks for the donation, Jessica. Don't think Frank has any new other videos, no.
Defenders, Jake here. Putin's starting to crack. U.S. officials confirm.
Hello, Richard. I hope that you are doing well. I was wondering if you would ever give a second chance or take back someone who ghosted you if they came back around again if you really had feelings for them. How have you dealt with being ghosted before? Frown.
I've never been ghosted, and I don't care. If somebody doesn't want to talk to me, that's their prerogative. So just learn not to give a fuck. Thanks for that donation, Miko.
Confirm Ukraine's June strikes inside of Russia with American weapons. We've already known this has been going on for a week, but U.S. officials are now talking about it. The change in policy that Western weapons can be used on the territory of Russia. And President Biden, in an interview, basically told Putin he can go kick rocks. Biden vows Ukraine will not use U.S. weapons to strike Moscow. So you're safe, Putin. The core territory of the Russian Federation is not being attacked. It's not being threatened. There's no justification for using a nuclear weapon. And if you don't like Western weapons being used in the border areas, then stop attacking Ukraine. All you have to do is go back to your own country and stay there, and the war is over. It's a pretty sweet deal for the Russians at this point. Western permission for strikes inside of Russia stops S-300 attacks on the city of Kharkiv for days. Russia had converted an S-300 air defense system to go ground to ground. It's not very accurate, but when you're just indiscriminately killing civilians in the city of Kharkiv, you don't really care about accuracy. So Ukraine used the HIMARS to blow this up, and the attacks stopped. The city of Kharkiv is safer today because the policy changed in the last week. So I got a clip of Putin, and before I show it, I want to share the parody account, Darth Putin. Day 832 of my 3-day war. My attack on Kharkiv caused the West to greenlight attacks on Russia, showed my red lines to be meaningless, and led to cataclysmic casualties. I remain a master strategist. So here's an amazing clip. Are you thick as two short planks? Putin decided to give a press conference to Western journalists just so he could yell at some Westerners. These journalists don't make policy, they're just there to take notes of what Putin says. So I've got two clips for you, and the first one is Putin yelling at the Western journalists. He's furious that Western weapons are now being used on the territory of Russia. This is a translation from Italka. This is what Putin has to say. Don't concoct anything, and don't form opinions about Russia based on these fictions. There is no need to create an image of Russia as an enemy. You're only making things worse for yourselves. Do you understand this? You've come up with this idea that Russia wants to attack NATO. Have you completely lost your minds? Are you as dumb as this table? He then pounds the table. Who came up with that? It's nonsense and BS. It would have been nonsense if it weren't invented to fool your own population. Saying, help, Russia will attack us soon and we have to arm immediately. We need to immediately send weapons to Ukraine. In reality, why is it being done? To hold on to your own imperialistic position of greatness? That's why it's being done. Wow, where to begin? So Putin accuses the West of coming up with the fictional narrative that Russia wants to attack NATO. He even says, who came up with that? So if we go to the YouTube channel Russian Media Monitor, and we just search for the word threaten, countless clips. Solyov threatens Germany. Russian propagandist threatens the West. Head of RT News threatens the West. Solyov threatens France, UK, and US. Solyov threatens America.
About fucking time. I don't know why Ukraine wasn't allowed to use Western missiles to attack Russia this whole time. It would have prevented many death and destruction.
Yeah. It's stupid, but at least things have finally changed. Thanks for the donation, Molo.
Solyov threatens France. Every day on Kremlin State TV, they threaten to attack NATO. Nothing is said on Kremlin State TV without the approval of Vladimir Putin. If you try and go on Russian television and say something the Kremlin doesn't approve of, you're arrested or murdered. All of these idiots on Kremlin State TV are saying exactly what Vladimir Putin wants him to say. So who came up with the idea that Russia wants to attack NATO? And it's the Russians. And this clip is from yesterday. Solyov, once again, threatening to attack NATO. Here's what Solyov has to say on Kremlin State TV. In addition, since we realize the task is set and is ongoing, there is no plan B, the destruction of Russia. It means we must create all conditions for inflicting colossal damage to the manpower and equipment of NATO troops stationed.
Koskash, $20 watch later.
Hello, my Kubian apes. Let me ask you a question.
I'll take a look at that later. Thanks for that donation, dude. Oh, wait, whoops.
Anywhere in the world. This means We must support all proxy movements, supplying them with everything they need, no matter where in the world they are located. We must cause so much trouble for these countries that they have the least amount of attention and time to work with us. Military plants and warehouses throughout NATO should be blown up if they produce and house equipment designed to strike Russia. You want World War III? You're already in it. So this is the other escalation. Putin threatens to arm countries that could hit Western targets. Here's what Putin continued to say in this press conference. We're thinking on the topic that if someone deems it possible to supply such weapons into the combat zone for strikes on our territory and creating problems for us, then why don't we have the right to supply our weapons of the same class into those regions of the world where strikes will be performed onto those countries who do it towards Russia? So Putin is saying we're going to supply weapons to the enemies of France, the UK, the United States, and have them do our dirty work. The United States and Russia can't go to war because of nuclear weapons, but Putin's saying he'll give whatever terrorist organizations or authoritarian regimes want so they can attack Americans. This is a terrible idea, and this is going to backfire. Here are some of my thoughts on what Putin just said, which is pretty insane. First of all, Russia has already been supplying weapons to America's enemies for 80 years. The North Koreans, the North Vietnamese, Cuba, Iran. This isn't really a change in policy. Russia's already doing this today, working with closely and providing funding and weapons for terrorist organizations like Hamas, the Assad regime, the Taliban. Russia will work with anyone who tries to undermine and attack the United States. Also, Russia is losing this war and they don't really have any weapons to spare. They're already not able to fulfill weapons contracts to paying customers like India. Putin's going to start giving weapons away for free when paying customers in Africa and India aren't even getting their weapons deliveries. Additionally, America can't go to war with Russia because Russia has 6,000 nuclear warheads pointed at the United States.
So they say. I don't think they have anywhere near that many working nuclear weapons.
But America can go to war with other countries, such as Cuba or Venezuela, if they're dumb enough to accept weapons from the Russians and they use them to attack the continental United States. This is fantasy talk from the Russians, because what struggling country in the Western Hemisphere wants their government to be toppled to do Russia a minor favor? Politically also, this is really bad for Russia, because if the United States were to be attacked, we'd have the intelligence that Russia was responsible for it. And when the United States gets attacked, usually the president gets a rally around the flag popularity boost. George Bush's approval rating after the September 11th attacks shot up to 98%. So if the Kremlin wants to guarantee that Joe Biden will be reelected in November, then by all means supply weapons to Cuba or Venezuela and convince them to attack the United States. And this mindset from Putin ignores all of American history. The United States does not respond well when it's attacked directly. Ask the Germans in World War I after they sank Lusitania. Ask the Japanese in World War II after they bombed Pearl Harbor. And ask Al-Qaeda on September 11th after they attacked New York and Washington, D.C. Never goes well for people who have the attitude of, we'll just punch America in the face and then they'll back down. Nothing in our history indicates that will ever happen. But the Russians can only project strength because they're incredibly weak. Russian warships headed to the Caribbean for drills as tensions is not actually part of Russia. Crimea is a Western weapon in any of Russia's threats. Also funny, in this press conference, Putin basically admitted that Crimea is not really part of Russia. Western weapons have already been used on Crimea for a year now. So what's the difference if Crimea is actually Russian territory? By Putin admitting the policy change this week, he's basically admitting that Crimea is not actually part of Russia. Pretty funny. Russia threatens to target French military instructors in Ukraine if they are sent. France is absolutely sending instructors to Ukraine. They should be arriving soon. And something tells me the French don't like being threatened either. Paris says it will respond to Russia after remarks about French instructors being targeted in Ukraine. So here we go. Here's the response. Macron announces that France will send...
PLS draw a picture of Jessica sucking a Hamas terrorist leader's dick. Also, I was arguing with some meat eaters who said replacing your nutrition with suppleness is unhealthy. If you search that lineup, it does say that. Not sure how to respond. THXS.
It's a false claim. What makes supplementation unhealthy? It's just stupid. You've already asked me that question before too, dude. Oh wait, crap. Wrong one. Okay, there's a drawing of Jessica sucking a Hamas leader's dick. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for the donation, Riley.
the Mirage 2005 fighter jets to Ukraine within the year. I don't know if that's for the rest of 2024 within the year or within the next 12 months within a year. Either way, more jets are on the way. More pilot training for Ukrainians will occur. Here's an article from The Telegraph. NATO land corridors will rush U.S. troops to front lines of any future European war. There's even a map. Here are the 5 locations where U.S. troops will be dropped off. They'll then take road or rail networks to get to the front lines of NATO. To the best of our knowledge, up until this point, only Gimler's rounds with a unitary warhead broad regions. This is bad for Russia. Russia adds anti-drone cope cages to their all-terrain buggies and motorcycles. I've been seeing these goofy pictures for weeks. Russia is on this Mad Max kick of putting cages on all of their equipment. And a cope cage on an armored vehicle makes sense. If an FPV makes contact with the cage, it might not pierce the armor. It would protect the Russian soldiers inside, in theory. But a cope cage on a golf cart or a motorcycle does nothing. If the FPV detonates, there's no armor to protect you. Now that we're in 2024, they're using motorcycles and these Chinese golf carts. The joke was that by next year, they'd be on roller skates and scooters, and it's not a joke. On a Russian Telegram page, these Russian soldiers sent a thank you, posting a picture of themselves with their brand new electric scooters. This is really happening, guys, so expect for the roller skates to show up soon. Russia jails a soldier for 23 years for killing fellow servicemen in a drunken grenade blast. The mighty Russian military, everyone. Explosions, oil refinery fire reported in Russia's Rostov region. Just in time.
Okay. Well, Russia is failing bad.
Question. Have you ever been on your way to the local Queers for Palestine protest when suddenly a Zionist falls out of the sky and says, actually, Hamas would have you executed for being gay? Many such cases. Well, after this video, you'll be able to tell him that actually Hamas had a gay commander. Okay, in all seriousness, today we're going to be talking about the insane and brutal story of Mahmoud Ishtui, the gay Hamas commander. In it, I hope to get you acquainted with the shadowy inner politics of Hamas and introduce you to some of the key Hamas figures, beyond what you might hear about in the headlines. And slight disclaimer, due to this video's very dark subject matter, I'll probably be making less jokes than usual. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get started. Now, first off, let's get acquainted with our main character. Mahmoud Ishtui was born in 1982 in the Gaza Strip. Now, Hamas, the extremist Islamist organization that rules the Gaza Strip, is extremely nepotistic. Power tends to be concentrated in a few families, and Mahmoud's family, the Ishtuis, were seen almost as Hamas royalty. Perhaps because of that, when Mahmoud joined the Al-Qassam Brigades, the military wing of Hamas, at the age of 19, he quickly rose through the ranks. Eventually, he became the commander of the Zaytun.
I wonder why Trump would declassify many different files like the 9/11 and the JFK assassination files, but not the third one he's asked in this Fox News interview.
Well, we already saw this clip, but yeah, it's kind of weird that he'd have that sort of response.
By the 9/11 files.
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you?
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
Yeah. So, I think he knows something that we don't. Thanks for the donation, finger my ass.
Battalion. One of, if not the most powerful fighting forces in the Al-Qassam Brigades. Now, life seemed to be going pretty well for Ishtui. He was married to 2 wives and had 3 children, who all lived in luxury. His rank was equivalent to Brigadier General, and his troops performed exceedingly well during the 2014 Gaza War. But there was one problem. He was gay. Ishtui had, during the course of his career, maintained many relationships with various men in Gaza. Now, it's very likely that many officials within Hamas were aware of Ishtui's habits, but due to his extreme usefulness to the group, most of them were willing to look the other way as long as he continued to be a beneficial asset. Perhaps because of this, Ishtui came under the false impression that they didn't care about his habits at all, and he began making less of an effort to hide them. But everything changed when a new leader arose in Gaza, one far more brutal and fundamentalist than any who came before him. Yahya Sinwar had felt that Hamas had lost its way. To understand why, we need to go back a bit. Yahya Ibrahim Hassan Sinwar was one of the earliest members of Hamas. He actually started his career running a small organization dedicated to weeding out immorality, in particular homosexuality. Sinwar had an obsession with purity, and his gang would often burn down video shops that he saw as too scandalous. After joining Hamas, his organization morphed into what became known as Majd. Majd was especially dedicated to hunting down Palestinians who had collaborated with Israel. It would become the Hamas secret police. Now, Sinwar quickly understood that the best way to get people to not collaborate with Israel was by getting the people to fear you. And the best way to get a population to fear you was through public acts of extraordinary violence towards collaborators. Sinwar got Ahmed Yassin, the quadriplegic blind imam who was the supreme leader of Hamas at the time, to issue a fatwa, essentially an Islamic legal degree, that gave Sinwar religious permission to kill anyone he suspected of collaborating with Israel in any way he saw fit. Sinwar immediately got to work. Whenever he found a suspected collaborator, he would kill them brutally, often himself. In one case, he strangled one of them to death while interrogating him. In another case, when a man finally confessed to collaborating, Sinwar said that he wasn't going to kill the man. The man was happy for about 2 seconds until Sinwar had the guards bring in the man's brother and force the man to bury his own brother alive. He would often brag about that particular incident. Palestinians started calling Sinwar the Butcher of Khan Yunis and the Man of 12, in reference to the 12 Palestinians he had personally killed. Even the other Hamas leaders were terrified of him. So, I hope we can all agree that Sinwar was a pretty bad person. I mean, hell, his name is literally Sinwar. It's like you asked J.K. Rowling to name a terrorist. But his killing spree came to an end in 1989 when he was arrested by Israel and sentenced to 4 life sentences. In prison, Sinwar was the opposite of a model prisoner and tried to escape over 6 times. He continued having an influential role in Hamas through the use of contraband cell phones that were smuggled into the prison in pretty crazy ways. Sinwar would attempt to have the phones smuggled inside the prison inside of women's underwear or even inside of people's bodies. That second method is actually quite popular. 4 years ago, Israel found a Palestinian attempting to enter a prison with 11 cell phones and 19 SIM cards inside of his lower abdomen.
Jesus.
Yet Sinwar's luck seemed to run out when he was diagnosed with brain cancer. Doctors estimated that the tumor would kill him within the year, yet for some reason, Israeli authorities decided to save Sinwar's life. Israeli doctors tirelessly worked to remove the cancer. After the tumor had finally been removed, Sinwar's main doctor, Yuval Biton, asked Sinwar if having his life saved by Israel had changed his views on the conflict. Sinwar simply responded that his goals remained the same, the total expulsion of all Jews from Palestine. Biton's nephew would later be murdered on Sinwar's orders during the October 7th attacks. But Sinwar seemed to regain his luck in 2011, when Israel agreed to the Shalit deal. The deal stated that Israel would release over 1,000 Hamas prisoners, including many leaders, in exchange for a single Israeli soldier who had been captured by Hamas. Sinwar was one of the men slated to be released. Now, you'd probably expect Sinwar to be happy about this. After all, the deal was lopsidedly in favor of the Palestinians. Yet Sinwar was furious. He didn't want a deal unless every single Palestinian prisoner was released. He instead wanted Hamas to continue efforts to try and kidnap Israelis in order to free all prisoners. When Biton asked him if he would be willing to kill 10,000 innocent civilians in order to free 100 prisoners, Sinwar told him that he would be willing to kill 100,000. Yet, despite Sinwar's protests, deputy Hamas leader Salah al-Aruri, who was assassinated at the beginning of this year, agreed to the deal. And after 22 years in Israeli prisons, Sinwar was finally released back to Gaza. When he got back, he returned to a Hamas that had changed completely. I'm just imagining that it went something like this. Ah, Gaza. It's good to be back. Can't wait to cool off at the beach, maybe buy myself a new jacket at the Hitler 2 clothing store, and... Oh my god, Sinwar, you're finally back. You totally slayed those collaborators. Yeah, we're gonna need a purge. Sinwar came back to a Gaza that he felt had gone soft, and there was no bigger example of that to him than Mahmoud Ishtui.
Mike donates $2, rip. Let me see. Okay, Mexican influencer got hit by a train trying to take the perfect selfie. I'm gonna watch that off screen.
Muévense, muévense,
Yeah, that's bad. That's why you shouldn't do that around trains. Thanks for that donation, though, Mike.
Ishtui's gay antics may have been ignored by other Hamas leaders, but Sinwar wasn't about to let that stuff fly. And sure enough, it was only so long before Ishtui was arrested on Sinwar's orders. At first, Ishtui was accused of embezzlement, and they claimed that he had taken Hamas money for himself. But they then claimed that he had used that stolen money to coerce various men in Gaza to engage in sexual relations with him. And they even got Ishtui's neighbor to confess to having sex with him. Through the use of advanced AI algorithms, I was actually able to recreate the interrogation sessions with Sinwar and Ishtui. Here you go.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay. You are a transgender.
What shows that I'm gay?
You are a transgender.
Now, the accusations already looked really, really bad for Ishtui, but many Hamas leaders had an idea. You see, many Hamas commanders had made pretty big mistakes during the 2014 Gaza war, the biggest of which was when the location of the Hamas military chief, Mohammed Daif, was leaked, and his house was bombed by Israel. His whole family was killed, and Daif was severely injured. Now, it's very likely that the bombing of the house was just a result of good Israeli signals intelligence, but Daif was fully convinced that there was a traitor inside of Hamas who had been sabotaging Hamas operations for years. Daif desperately wanted someone to blame for the deaths of his family. Now, every Hamas commander who had somehow messed up in the war knew that they might one day be accused by Daif of being the traitor. But they now had a solution. Ishtui was a dead man walking. Sinwar would make sure of that. But multiple Hamas commanders realized that if they could pin all of their failures on Ishtui and then kill him, like some sort of Hamas Jesus, Daif would assume that Ishtui had been the traitor the whole time, and they would no longer have to worry about...
Finger my ass when I tell hers, was the train accident something similar to these?
Be careful up there, Pete. Just go on and take the picture.
Oh, Long Johnson! Oh, Long Johnson!
Okay, hold still. What's that? A train! Ryan! No! 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 No!
Yeah, you have to be a special kind of stupid to get hit by a train. Like, oh my god. Thanks for that donation, finger my ass.
Being accused of being the traitor. So the moment word got out about Ishtui's arrest, multiple Hamas commanders came forward to Sinwar and accused Ishtui of some frankly ridiculous stuff. Here are just a few accusations. According to the allegations, Ishtui had sexual relations with over 50 men in Gaza. In order to generate hush money to keep it a secret, he turned to an interesting strategy that I call the sneako grind set. He would bring his wife to parties with high-ranking Hamas members and have them pay him to sleep with her. In addition to that, he was accused of collaborating with Israel over the length of many years. According to the allegations, he had been the one who had given Israel Daif's location in 2014. He was also accused of mass embezzlement and of running an illegal weapon market in Gaza. He was essentially accused of every single crime under the sun. Hell, they probably claimed that he shot Harambe. The charges seemed pretty damning. All they needed now was a confession. And that is where the torture began. In the maze of labyrinthine tunnels under the Gaza Strip, Ishtui was subjected to some of the most brutal tortures imaginable. We know about what happened to him mainly through letters that he would smuggle out, which would find their way to Human Rights Watch. I linked the Human Rights Watch report on Ishtui in the description if you feel like reading it, but I warn, it's really not for the faint of heart. In the notes, Ishtui wrote, "Often 4 men would stand around me while I was suspended in the air and would swing me right and left, forward and backwards, for hours. I was tied for an average of no less than 20 hours and sometimes more than 24 hours, and I received hundreds of lashes. I was beaten, tied, stripped of my skin, humiliated, spat on, and had a bag placed over my head, and all this without them having a shred of evidence." After every torture session, he would be asked to confess. He had 2 main interrogators. He said that Sinwar was the good cop, and that Sinwar's brother Mohammed was the bad cop. And the fact that Mohammed makes Yahya Sinwar look good by comparison really tells you everything you need to know about him. As bad as Yahya Sinwar was, his brother was a true psychopath and sadist.
Have you seen this one?
Is that heart?
No, that's
Oh, yeah.
Tom check. Oh my god.
Move your car!
Is that heart?
There was no reason to stop the cop car on train tracks and let alone have the suspect inside while the car was on train tracks. It's insane. I think that woman's suing for like 50 million and she's probably going to get it. It's totally fucking nuts. Thanks for the donation, hee.
To get an idea of just how bad Mohammed Sinwar was, one time after Ishtui launched a failed escape attempt, Sinwar beat Ishtui for 4 hours straight until Ishtui was unconscious.
Yeah, she
he
survived.
Then blindfolded Ishtui and threw him in a hole in the ground. Mohammed told Ishtui that this was his grave that he had prepared for him and that he should get used to it because he'd be spending the rest of eternity in it soon enough. Ishtui would later state the beatings he got on that day would cause his urine to permanently change color. But like I said before, Ishtui's family was like Hamas royalty, so his sister Samia was allowed to come and visit him in the tunnels. When Samia saw her brother looking absolutely destroyed from the beatings, she asked the guard if he had been tortured, and of course the guard denied that any torture had taken place. When she spoke with her brother, he just lifted up his palm, showing the word Mazlum written on it, meaning unjustly wronged, essentially confirming that he had been tortured. He also said that if he would be murdered, he would leave a sign to prove it. Now, this whole time, Ishtui's mother had been meeting with Hamas supreme leader and multi-billionaire Ismail Haniyeh. And by the way, fun little fact about Haniyeh, he actually has multiple nephews in the Israeli army. Talk about awkward family reunions. Anyway, in the meetings, Haniyeh was dismissive that Ishtui was in danger and claimed that Sinwar would eventually let him go free. But when Ishtui's sister went to visit Mahmoud for the final time, she could see that he was at his breaking point. It was during this meeting that he managed to sneak her a note which detailed all the torture that he had been subjected to by Sinwar and his men. Later that day, his sister walked into Haniyeh's house. Like usual, Haniyeh greeted her cheerfully and asked what he could do for her, and she basically said, "Cut the crap, Haniyeh," and showed him the documents that claimed that Ishtui was being tortured by Hamas men. Haniyeh instantly froze and his face went white. The details of the torture weren't supposed to have gotten out. Haniyeh abruptly ended the meeting and excused himself. That night, the Ishtui family got a knock at the door. Samia opened it and found herself face to face with Sinwar, who had a gun pointed at her.
Jesus.
Sinwar walked into the house, still pointing the gun, and said to her that she should stop poking around or she would end up like her brother. Then he walked out into the night. But the Ishtui family wouldn't be threatened. They demanded another meeting with Haniyeh, but Haniyeh refused to meet with them. They then organized a protest outside of Haniyeh's house, but it was brutally dispersed by Hamas police. When that didn't work, they had a different idea. They contacted Khalid Mashal, the multi-billionaire former leader of Hamas who now resided in Syria. Now, Mashal actually has an absolutely insane life story that involves the Mossad essentially killing him with a deadly dose of super fentanyl shot out of a Spider-Man web shooter, and after that, reviving him from the dead. If you want me to make a video explaining the absolute insanity that was the Mashal job, let me know in the comments. Anyway, Mashal was seen as much more of a pragmatist compared to other Hamas leaders, and he didn't like Sinwar that much. Because of that, the Ishtui family thought that he might be a useful ally in their fight to free Mahmoud. They spoke with Mashal and he told them that he was confident he would be able to free Mahmoud. In parallel to that, Mahmoud's mother released a tearful video in which she begged Hamas military commander Daif to release her son. She said that in the past she had saved Daif's life and now asked him to pay her back. She revealed that she was dying of cancer and begged Daif to let her see her son one more time before she died. But it was too late. That night, Sinwar came to Ishtui and told him that if he confessed, he would only get a few years in jail. Ishtui, who was completely broken and couldn't take any more torture, finally confessed. But Sinwar had lied, because the moment he confessed, Sinwar did a quick and secret sham trial and officially condemned him to death for homosexuality. Ishtui was executed with 3 gunshots to the chest. His body was returned to his family and they were told that Ishtui had died during a hunger strike. His family didn't really buy that considering, the 3 holes in his chest. And sure enough, upon further examination, they found that he had carved the word Mazlum into his leg, his way of saying that he had been innocent. Now, in every English source, this is where the story ends. But by doing some digging on some really sus Arabic websites that probably gave me viruses, I realized that this story goes way deeper than I realized. Because remember, Mahmoud was a popular commander in Hamas, and the Ishtuis were a very powerful Hamas family, so Sinwar killing him got quite a few people angry. So, in the days following the death of Ishtui, a new group made its first appearance in Gaza. A group that styled itself the Free Qasemite Brigades, or the FQB, essentially broke off from Hamas. They released a statement where they strongly condemned the killing of Ishtui and demanded that Sinwar get handed over to them for judgment. But most interestingly, the FQB declared allegiance to Khalid Mashal, and this is where things finally started to make sense to me. You remember when Mashal said that he would help free Ishtui and then proceed to do absolutely nothing? Well, Mashal never wanted to free Ishtui. He wanted Ishtui to die and become a martyr, and then use his death to essentially lodge a soft coup against the rising power of Sinwar. It was something unprecedented in the history of Hamas. But here is the weirdest part. Not long after this, the FQB disappears completely from the historical record. So my guess as to what happened would be that the Free Qasimite revolt was swiftly crushed by Sinwar. Anyway, Ishtui's story of torture and execution isn't actually out of the ordinary for Hamas. Ishtui was just the most famous example of it. And Palestine still remains one of the worst places to be gay in the world. Well, you might be saying, of course Gaza is going to be bad, but what about the West Bank, where Hamas isn't in charge? Well then, let me tell you about Ahmed Abu Mukhia. Ahmed was a gay Palestinian from the West Bank town of Hebron. He fled from his hometown out of fear and got asylum in Israel, where he lived his life. After many years, he decided to return to his hometown. When he got there, the villagers actually befriended him. Oh wait, did I say befriended? I meant beheaded. And it was posted on social media.
Dude, how fucking stupid do you have to be? You flee from fucking the Arab West Bank because you're gay and they're gonna kill you, and then you go back and then you die. Like, holy shit.
Media and everything. Anyway, I think the moral of Ishtui's story is the same as the moral of the Lincoln story from my last video. No matter how much you stick up to these authoritarians, they're still gonna hate you at the end of the day. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Ishtui got first place on the poll I did to choose the next video, so I knew I'd have to make this one first.
That's an interesting video.
25 million years ago, a new species appeared on Earth. The great apes. Among them was one family with extraordinary abilities. They were our distant ancestors. Through evolution, they gave rise to new, more advanced species. They'd ventured far and wide and invented hunting, power, tools, love, and soon, war.
Yeah, I've seen Tropic Thunder.
They competed with the great beasts, conquered the planet, adapted to every climate. They became us, Homo sapiens, modern man. Where and when did our lineage begin? Who was the first of us? What is that quality that makes us human? The difference that sets us apart from other animals? Thanks to the latest scientific discoveries, we are about to take a journey into the depths of time to find out which of our ancestors took the decisive step and gave birth to the first man. Our family story begins 25 million years ago, at a time of intense global warming.
It's time to watch some motherfucking Baki versus Kengan Ashura.
Is that actually happening?
I was intimidated. I was impressed. I was aroused. Been blessed. Yo, dudes and dudettes, your friendly neighborhood Jack Blade is back, and for y'all who've been following me for a long time, you know I very much love Baki. I very much love Kengan Ashura. I've been talking about him for years at this point, so like I know all the characters, all the lore, all that stuff. Funny enough, the creator of Kengan follows me because I'm a big fan of how heavy are the dumbbells you lift, and I just always promote his stuff whenever he does it. That Star Striker Rich is also phenomenal. So I have been very anxiously awaiting this freaking crossover right now. And when both finally came to Netflix, a lot of people were just like wondering, like, are they ever gonna cross over? Because like they did that promotional art, and then they did that manga crossover and stuff like that, and then like, you know, they just had all these little things over the years where it's just like, are they gonna? And a lot of people didn't even know that Kengan and Baki were two different shows, and a lot of people didn't give Kengan a chance because the CGI wasn't their taste. But again, I think it grows on you. However, I do like the 2D, and I'm glad they used it for this special. So getting into it, I was very curious where we were going to start when going with this like Baki versus Kengan thing, because for example, when you read Kengan Ashura and Kengan Omega, there's a certain point of time where it's like it wouldn't make any sense for them to just stop and go and do this, especially with certain things going on with Oma's character and Kengan Ashura, that I was just like, I'm very curious how they're gonna do this. And so when watching this, I could see, for the Baki characters, it's very much after Pickle. You could tell, like, because Jack Hanma's face is like still messed up from his intimate session with Pickle. But for Kengan, it's very much an Elseworld story for them, just because it couldn't fit in the plot narrative of the manga. So I'm looking at like those old DBZ movies. Story-wise, it does seem like a very valid thing that would happen though, because I love that like
I'm horny. Oh my god, donate $2. It came out today on Netflix, you dumb blackie. Alright, well, I'll be sure to watch it. Thanks for the donation, I'm horny.
Metsudo and Tokugawa are just like buddies, and they're like, yeah, wouldn't it be fun if your fighters fought my fighters? Yeah, let's have that. And then like they did it, and then the way the intro started, I was like, wait, how many fights are we getting in this? Because they showed all the fighters, and I was just like, okay, so like, is it just gonna turn into a brawl or something like that? But no, they really stuck with the 3 rounds. Another thing I really love was the fact that the fighters actually like knew of each other and like their skill sets. Like, he's using removal from the Curry clan. That is a power that is, and I'm just like, okay, that's great. Like how the Baki characters are like talking about the Kengan power-ups. It's just like, oh man, I was getting hyped. And I also love the fact that like these fighters like have like experience with each other too. It's like a fight, how it's gonna go. Like when you were reading or watching Kengan Ashura, there's so many times where it's like plot narrative thinks that the fight would go this way, but the beautiful thing about Kengan is they just primarily outskill each other. It's not a thing of like, hey, let's just keep trying to overpower each other all the time. It's like, no, I can handle you this way, you may be stronger this way. You might possibly get a draw or something's gonna happen during the, like, even if it's CGI, they have really great choreography. The manga for Kengan's choreography is absolutely god tier, and I've made a joke about how most Baki fights go these days, where it's like powerful attack, reaction to the attack, and then like, you know, characters explain how that attack reacts and stuff like that. Like you can play a drinking game of like how consistent it is. But like this, I like that they showed a bit more fluidity, though it was still very limited to that like impact of just boom, boom, and stuff like that. There was never anything that made me go like, oh, they're pulling out some like God of High School choreography, some Naruto choreography, some Jujutsu Kaisen choreography or something like that, which is something I would have been like more excited for. But I understand why they just wanted like, you know, to go, hey, we're putting Kengan in the Baki style, so they're gonna fight very Baki-ish instead of like their typical, you know, more fluid choreography style, which I was like, okay. I kind of wanted that for people who've seen the Baki 90s OVA, where like Baki is fighting in that, and it's very fluid and very like energetic and stuff like that with how they're moving and doing the attacks. I would have definitely loved if they incorporated more of that, but again, this new Netflix Baki, it's not using that route and stuff like that. So that was a little bit of a, okay, I can deal with it. It wasn't anything that took me out of it, but it was something where I was like, oh man, I kind of wanted that fluidity just because it was a crossover, just to see the Baki characters move like that. But I get why they did. But again, it was just
What's up, guys? Hope you all are doing well. We've got the one and only. Yeah.
And in arm wrestling, so much of it, the technical side is to make the other person grip you.
So you're not walking in and gripping.
I'm not a guy who grips so much. I make people grip me.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
but that's an advantage.
Oh, for sure.
Massive. Okay.
Oh, if you have a strong grip in the sport of arm wrestling, it's for sure a big plus.
Yeah.
But I'm just maybe not one of those guys. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna hit today is we got a hand grip dynamometer. Have
I
you seen?
think Vitaly Levitin has the world record.
Does he?
He may.
On this?
I believe.
Well, I don't know. These are all different. But
Yeah.
anyway, we'll just maybe do
Yeah,
this
yeah,
first.
let's see.
Are you warmed up enough?
I'm like a panther.
You just
Yeah,
stay
I'm
warm.
ready to hit
you
it all
just
the time.
stay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Let me just set. I think
Before
I did.
that's gonna.
That was good.
72.
72.5. You were spitting everywhere. That was awesome.
I'm telling you, I've taken this thing to parties before, and random dudes get 100. So,
okay.
So that means I can't even support my body weight with one arm. All right, let's see what you do.
Yeah, so like double.
Jesus. Oh my God.
Yeah, so like double. Like 127.
Like double what I got going on.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. 127.
I think I don't know what my max on that. I've messed around that one, but
all right, what do we got here? 70.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting gassed out.
you've got an endurance.
See, that's about
What
it.
are you doing?
I'm telling you. That's about all I got, Brian.
All right, so here's the thing. We're gonna introduce the cheater line now for you on the 70. All right.
Yeah.
So see this line right here where there's a little bit more texture?
Yes. Oh, I see.
I just want you to put your thumb right there.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see if this makes all the difference.
Yeah. Bring it up.
Oh, okay. I feel that bite. Oh, I'm right on the edge, Brian.
Okay, we need some more chalk.
I'm so embarrassed.
Can't use
Oh, yeah.
real. I have to do.
Bring it. I already crushed that one.
Know that I've 3 points.
I'll tell you, this is just completely futile. Oh, wait.
Oh.
It's in here.
It's the chalk, man.
You know what? I'll tell you, I am not known in arm wrestling for my massive feats. Come on.
I feel like I could do this. That's kind of surprising. Let's see. Let's just play some video games. If anybody wants to hop on with me with COD, feel free.
Check out these unique animals.
Let me see.
Started a wildfire, and it was no accident. Meet the black kite, also known as the firehawk. It's a medium-sized bird of prey that hunts on things like insects, small mammals, rodents, amphibians, and other birds. But some of them have figured out a more efficient way to hunt using fire. What they do is they'll go find a stick that's on fire, whether they take it from a wildfire or a human, and then they drop it on a really dry area. They know what they're doing. And as the fire begins to spread, they'll go sit at the highest point they can find. And they just sit and watch as all of the animals go running from the habitat, like some real supervillain stuff. And
Wow, I didn't know that there were any birds who did that. They're fucking assholes.
Beautiful, isn't it?
those are not your average bees. That hive was made of flesh. Meet the vulture bee. It's a stingless bee that's found in South America. And like most bees, they build beehives and make honey. The only difference is their honey is not made from nectar because they're not vegetarian. They feed primarily on the flesh of dead animals, which makes them the only non-vegetarian bee in the world. And as a whole colony, they can eat a lot of decayed meat. They've left animals completely skeleton once they're done with them. They're basically flying piranhas. But what's crazy is since bees need to throw up to make their honey or their beehive, it's made out of meat. It's actually called meat honey. I didn't think there was a food that I never want to try, so...
That is fucking weird. I didn't know that.
One of the most shocking creatures in the world. Literally. Meet the electric ray. It's like a regular stingray except with the powers of Thor. They're electrical hunters with no predators and a shock strong enough to knock out a human. But the crazy part is the way they hunt. What they do is they go and swim above their prey and wrap their fins around, creating this tunnel. And then they just start electrocuting with 200 volts from every single direction. And
That is fascinating. There's a lot of weird fucking animals, man. Bob donated $2. I think my $2 donation last night at 1:44 a.m. didn't get in before the stream ended last night. Can you take a peek? Have you seen Late Night with the Devil? Let me see. I can't go far that back. Yeah, I can't go far that back in the dono history. You're gonna have to, let me see if I can remember. I remember someone donated right when I ended it. What was it about? I think you're asking me about some video? Whether or not I saw it? Can't remember. I've not seen Late Night with the Devil. Oh yeah, you asked me about Hitomi. I'm probably not gonna make a video about it because Hitomi is like just some dumb bitch that I don't really care about. I might, maybe, but probably not. I also just realized that I have to poop. I will go take a poop now, and then we'll play some video games. But I'll be right back. Thanks for the donation, Bob. Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go poo-poo. I'll be right back. That was a good poop.
Would you ever come to NZ? Also, who do you prefer, pro-Israel non-vegans or pro-Palestine vegans? Are you gonna go on Piers Morgan and destroy him on veganism? I'm pro-Israel, but if we assumed that Palestine should have the land, what Hamas did is still bad.
I don't have any plans of visiting New Zealand. Wouldn't mind going. New Zealand looks kind of nice. I don't know how the fuck I'd get on Piers Morgan. I don't know. Maybe I have to do some, like, big disruption event for him to be interested in having me on. And, yeah, I mean, even if you are pro-Palestine, I don't know how any sensible person could have the opinion that what Hamas did was justified. It's crazy. Thanks for the donation, Riley. Jessica, donate $2 into apartheid, dismantle Israel, free Palestine. Oh, a TikTok video. You know it's true because it's on TikTok. Thanks for the donation, Jessica.
Hello again. What are your tips for getting over a breakup then if you are extremely sad and struggling with getting over them? I have been having a really difficult time and miss them a lot. Just wondering if you have any suggestions? What would you do?
Nihilism is the end of all suffering. The only reason you're sad is because you think they matter. They don't. None of your relationships matter. Nobody's life matters. Nothing matters. You can respect the lives of others. You can appreciate the relationships you're in and see how you personally benefit from it. But if you think any of it actually matters, you're only going to cause yourself more suffering. Your relationship ended, and there are benefits and downsides of that, and you can either look at things from a glass half full or glass half empty mindset. You can look at things and say, I'm all alone now, I'm lonely, I might not get a relationship that's as good as this one. Depending on how the relationship ended, you might be sad about that. Maybe they cheated on you or something. Why would they cheat on me? Or you could look at it from the glass half full perspective and say, well, now I have more free time. I don't have to spend as much money. I can focus on myself. There are other relationships out there that are probably better than this one. I can get somebody who's better looking, nicer to me. I learned from this relationship and I know how to sort of navigate personal problems a bit better. So none of it matters, dude, and acting as if anything matters is just going to cause you more suffering. None of it matters, and you have the choice to either look at things positively or look at things negatively. And I don't know what the point is of causing yourself more suffering by acting as if any of your relationships matter, whether it matters if you're alone or with somebody. I don't know how it's benefiting you to look at things negatively. It's just stupid. Life is a stupid, pointless game, and if you want to play the game, you might as well have the game benefit you. You might as well enjoy the game. So just learn to enjoy the game. Relationships end, whether they be romantic or platonic. Your life is going to end eventually. Nothing lasts forever. Just enjoy it while you have it and move on. Thanks for the donation, though, Miko. Hope that helps.
Can we finish this doc please tomorrow or sometime? It's really good. Can we at least watch a little more of it?
To the furs.
Maybe we'll watch more tomorrow. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Best way to get on Piers Morgan is to go to the Portal exhibit in New York and flop out your big stinky brown turd cock and its purple hat tip and then drop a collard green Negro poop on the ground. Smear it around into a pentagram and jerk off on it.
Okay, I guess I'll do that. Thanks for the donation, microwave poop.
Will Charlie ever find love? Or not?
Hi, I'm Natalie and I'm 21.
Hey Natalie, I recognize you from the clubs that we go to, so you've seen me at my worst. This is fire. It's a yes.
You've seen me at my...
Elden Ring and a Baldur's Gate.
Oh, okay, those are absolutely bangers.
He likes her, she likes him, she's playing with her hair. This one's gonna hurt him.
Natalie, would you come take my seat?
And I'll just stare right down the gun.
Yeah.
So you've come out on top. You said a second ago you would take another date. But the other offer on the table is all of the money in his wallet currently. It could be nothing.
It's not.
It's not nothing.
I say the money.
That's
what,
fucked up.
what if you have to sign a restraining order if you take the money? So you're picking money.
Penguin Zero is a fucking 8-year-old with a beard. Like, no shit, no girl's gonna want to date him. He's a fucking jackass. The only thing he has to offer anybody is money. Like, he literally is just a checkbook for women. That's it. He has no redeeming qualities. As far as I know, he's not, like, abusive or beats women or anything, but the guy's literally a fucking 8-year-old. Why would anybody want to be with him for any other reason than money?
Is that gonna hurt your feelings?
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it.
You're never gonna find love, man.
It doesn't exist. No.
Yeah, he's a fucking jackass. Natty or not.
I entered a natural bodybuilding competition, and I'm going to explain why I entered a natural bodybuilding competition. I was in good shape, you know what I mean? So my...
He could be natty, but I'd say probably not, since he was an IFBB pro.
We could go ban for ban. Fuck that, we can go...
That's a big, thick ass. I would say she's natty. I think she's just got a black ass. That's a nice butt. That's a good butt.
Here's an example of what you should use to explain perspective and nihilism. Lol, the guy on the being alone part of the meme is exactly how I act when I'm alone. LMFAO.
Muchas gracias, afición. Este para vosotros. Sí. Muchas.
Yep, being alone can be pretty nice and peaceful. Just it's all a matter of perspective. You can either be alone or be lonely. Thanks for the donation, finger my ass. Grey Knight donated $2. Do you think this fight is accurate? So I'm fighting MMA styled versus boxing. No, if you're doing MMA and you're fighting a boxing opponent, I don't know why you wouldn't just do low leg kicks. The boxer wouldn't be able to do shit. Also, the takedown defense is really unrealistic. That wouldn't work. Yeah, that was not realistic at all. Thanks for that donation, Grey Knight. Historic region is named Palestine. Around half of them are Palestine. Today, this land is 14 million people, blah, blah. I don't know how this is an apartheid. Land is divided into 4 units, West Bank, blah, blah, blah. Palestinians in exile, 7 million beyond the borders. Prehistoric Palestine are millions of Palestinians expelled by Israel to other countries, most of whom are stateless. Yeah, and guess why? It's because they started a fucking war for no real reason other than they just hate Jews, and they lost, so fuck around, find out. Israel has divided Palestinians between these 5 tiers of rights, all of which are inferior to the rights of Jewish Israelis. That's not true. So they're not Israeli citizens, not Israeli citizens, not Israeli citizens, not Israeli citizens. If you're a Palestinian, you're with Israeli citizenship, you're not. That's a oxymoron. You'd be an Arab with Israeli citizenship. This is Palestinians with citizens? What the fuck does this mean? I thought it said Palestinian with Israeli citizenship. What does it mean, Palestinians with citizens? They're not Israeli citizens, so yeah, no shit. They wouldn't have the same rights as Israelis. They wouldn't be able to vote, for instance. Like, what the fuck point does this... What point are they making? Can they name one single right that Arab Israeli citizens don't have that Jewish Israeli citizens do have? Palestinians may be allowed to relocate if it means downgrading. Well, yeah, if you live in a Arab territory, by definition, you're going to have less rights because they follow Islamic law. Okay, so this was a fucking retarded TikTok video. Nice. Okay, let's play some video games. If anybody wants to come play COD with me, feel free.